and welcome to episode 80 of Movies and Us. I'm DJ,
And I'm Marcus.
and this is the review genre movies from the beginning, sometimes. Today, we are going into the 2011 release of the animated Batman film, Year One.
I was like, wait, that's not the title we just watched. I was about to say the short we watched. Yeah, Batman Year One.
Yes. It was directed by Sam Liu. I think that's how you pronounce that name. Liu, maybe? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Probably Liu.
Well, I'm assuming it's of Asian descent, and sometimes... Is that even an I, or is that two L's?
It's an I.
Well, the
It's
way...
L. No, I get, but when you hover over the name, you can really see the Liu. It's really prominent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it just looks like a single line.
Yeah.
Anyway, directed by him and Lauren Montgomery, written by Tab Murphy.
Tab Murphy?
Tab Murphy.
That's not a name.
That's what...
No, it's not.
That's what it says. Produced by familiar names, Bruce Timm and Ellen Burnett. Also Lauren Montgomery and Sam Register.
Tab Murphy directed Gorillas in the Mist, a movie that was nominated for an Academy Award for its rating.
No idea what that is.
It's a movie. I think Sean Connery's in that. Hold on. Sean Connery. Sean Connery. It's Gorillas in the Mist, starring
Can I go on now? Or
the lady from Sigourney Weaver's in it.
Okay.
Yes, that's her name. I knew someone famous was in it. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue, TJ.
It stars Bryan Cranston. You know.
The second he started talking in the movie, he's like, who is this voice? I know this guy. It was kind of distracting, so I had to pause the movie, put up IMDb, like, oh, Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Knock him in the middle. Got it.
Ben McKenzie, Elijah Dushku of Buffy the Vampire Slayer fame. John Polito, Alex Rocco, Katie Sackhoff, Jeff Bennett, Gray DeLizzy, Robin Atkins Downs, Keith Ferguson, Danny Jacobs, Nick Jameson, Lillian Mummy, Pat Musick, Stephen Root, Fred Tadasori, and Steve Bloom. And that's the cast.
Nice. That's a pretty, lot of names. Lots of
A
names.
lot of names.
Yes.
The movie is an hour and 4 minutes long. And I think that's it for the intro stuff.
Is it though?
Not much behind the scenes. It's an animated movie. Got positive reviews and made 6.1 million, which 6.1 million leads you into box office.
You say what the budget was? I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy reading about Tab Murphy.
I said 6.1 million in sales. I don't have 3.5 million budget.
Yeah, so it doubled its budget. I mean, it made its money back then and then some. So I guess assume that's a successful outing.
For an animated direct-to-DVD movie, I would say so.
Oh, I would definitely say so. So if 6 million, it leads in the top whatever of the box office. Not in the box office mojo list because box office mojo goes down to 200 at $20 million. But I'm not going throughout this box office mojo. The top one of 2011, we said it before, I'll say it again, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 with $1.3 billion.
You don't want to go through any lists this time?
Nope, because we've hit this how many times now already?
A lot.
Yeah, so I don't want to repeat myself. I just like to say, the remake of The Thing came out that year, and that made $31 million. That's sad, making it 151. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
You know, I'll go a little tangent.
Wait, hold on.
What's up?
The John Carpenter's thing?
Yeah, the 2011, obviously, remake
wasn't John
Carpenter.
Wasn't John Carpenter's remake?
I was just going to say that, yeah. There's the original one, The Thing from Outer Space, or The Thing from wherever the hell, and then there's John Carpenter's The Thing, and then there's the 2011 prequel to John Carpenter's The Thing? Yeah, it's a prequel to John Carpenter's The Thing. It's a good movie, actually. I remember when it came out, it got shitted on for using too much CGI and stuff like that. And so I never watched it, and I remember getting shitted on so much, but then I finally saw, like, this movie isn't that bad, guys. It's not John Carpenter's The Thing, that's a classic, easily my top 2 favorite movies, but the 2011, it's a solid film.
Is it just about the guys in the Arctic who went crazy before the other guy showed up?
Yep. It's it's a prequel, so you know where it's going to go, so.
Okay. I mean, that's the only thing I could come up with that is the prequel, so.
Yeah. Like, you know where it has to end up at, but it's still a pretty decent, unnecessary thing to go moving. Yeah, that's my box office ramble, I guess. Okay. Now, I got another one for you, because I know you're into anime and stuff like that. At 147, there's a movie called Gantz, Perfect Answer. Do you know anything about the Gantz series? Gantz?
I know the name.
Okay, because I think it is based off an anime or maybe a manga or something like that, and it is Japanese probably.
I know of the name, but that's it.
There's a few movies out there. I saw one recently. It's very, very interesting, very fun. And I just thought you might know what it is. It seems like something you guys want to watch on your podcast.
No, nothing we watched.
Okay.
I'm not the anime guy on the anime podcast. That's more Sean's territory.
That's fair.
Like if it's not been reviewed on the podcast, the Anime and Us podcast, and it's not one of the like popular, as a casual anime fan.
Yeah,
I
Dragon Ball
was.
Season thing.
Yeah, if it's not something like that a casual would have watched, I really don't know about it.
Okay. Well, I was asking because I figured you guys are hundreds of episodes into that podcast.
Yeah.
I figured that might have come up at least once or twice.
Well, that's what it used to be that Sean was the anime guy and I was the casual, but now that we're 150,
Exactly.
30 episodes in, I don't even know where we are anymore.
I can't
call myself a casual anymore.
No.
But
But
I just know what I've seen through the podcast.
Again, which is way more than most quote unquote anime fans.
Right.
So yeah, so that's what I got for the box office. I'm keep scrolling. I see some movies I want to talk about, but I'm not trying to go any random rants today. More so than usual.
All right, so guess we'll move on. There's not a lot to this at all. Like even my trailers, I only got a trailer for Arkham City, the Batman video game that came out that year.
Oh, that's some bullshit. This movie won an award.
What, this movie?
Yeah, Batman Year One.
Well, despite what you're going to complain about, it is a very decent movie.
TJ, it won best at the BTVA Special DVD Voice Acting Award. What kind of why is there an award for everything, TJ? This won Best Male Vocal Performance in a TV special / direct-to-DVD title or short.
Let me ask, who won it?
Who do you think won it, TJ?
Bryan Cranston?
Of course.
Okay, well then that's valid.
It is valid, but come on. What kind of award is that?
Now, if they had given that award to Ben McKenzie, I would disagree.
Okay, that is fair.
But Bryan Cranston did an excellent job.
I mean,
as
that is
Jim
Bryan
Gordon.
Cranston. He's got a good voice. He could just
But
read
still,
a dictionary. Like, damn it, man, you make this for me.
It was distracting a little bit at first, but once I got used to it, that was Jim Gordon.
Oh yeah. Once I figured out who the voice was, like, okay, I'm buying this because it was good.
Right. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. You were saying something about something.
I was just talking about the one trailer that I got.
Oh, okay.
Which was Arkham City, the Batman game. Because, like I said, there wasn't really anything. There wasn't a lot of promotions or anything to this. There was a few sneak peeks in there about stuff that we've already watched, animated wise. So
yeah, which is weird because this is based off a story arc, isn't this?
Yeah, this is
comic or whatever.
Based off the Batman Year One comic.
So I'm surprised there wasn't more things pushing this or what have you, promoting it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Year One was written by Frank Miller, who I actually hate, but
you say it every time you say his name.
But this is an actually decent story.
I think Frank Miller is a revolutionary genius, TJ. So
you didn't even know who he was before I started complaining about him.
I've always knew who Frank Miller was. I've got some of his books in my collection. And by some of them, I mean I have one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Which one?
Watchmen.
That's not Frank Miller.
The Watchmen.
He
did do that, didn't he?
No, Watchmen is the other crotch.
Alan Moore, yeah. Yes. Don't get me wrong, they're both white guys, but I do know who Frank Miller is. I don't know any of his shit. I don't have any of his shit, but do you like Alan Moore?
I like Alan Moore's stories. Not a big fan of his crotchiness as a person.
Yeah, that's who you are, TJ. Come on.
Yeah, but no, he's like actively hates comic books now, and I get it. But like he calls people who I think it was him who recently said that comic books worshiping comic book heroes leads to fascism or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Wait, we said Frank Miller, right?
Yeah, Frank Miller wrote this.
He's the one that did Sin City, and
I think Sin City was his. He's also Dark Knight Returns. I hate that comic book. So, but yeah.
How did we get to this part?
Because you asked me about the comic.
Oh, okay.
All right. Before we dive into the movie proper, this has a DC showcase of Catwoman.
Yay.
The main bad guy in this, I just want to point out, was voiced by Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio. Why do I know that name?
No, John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio. I know that. Who is that?
Yeah, he's
Bender.
Bender and
Was that him?
Yeah,
He didn't sound like him.
he was also Jake the dog.
Yeah, he did not sound like him.
The guy with the teeth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Ruckus or whatever his thumb name was.
Rough Cut.
Rough Cut.
Yeah. So I just wanted to throw it out there. This is an interesting short.
It is.
It's very adult.
Very adult, as most of the shorts are actually. Because I know a lot of them are bloody, but this one,
it's
nudity.
It was just strange to see DC animation in a strip club. I think.
Yeah. And for like a long sequence too, like majority of the middle section of the movie, like, okay, we're doing this, I guess.
Like, yeah, with strippers all around and like,
yeah, the clothes it's getting. You don't see anything, but you see them get naked for the movie in the most PG way, I guess.
And don't get me wrong, I watch anime. That's stuff's like cartoon like sexualization is nothing to me when it comes to that. No. It's just jarring in a DC way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not complaining about it. It was just weird to see.
Yeah, it totally caught me off guard. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's a cat who's running through the street being chased by thugs trying to kill it, and Catwoman saves it.
Why? That's what the second it starts, like, okay, they're chasing the cat. And you see this guy thing around his neck, so like maybe if they're chasing after this diamond gold thing up on his neck. No, it jumps to the water, they shoot at it, and then they walk away. So why chase it? They thought they killed it. Yeah, but like you could just let it go. Like why? Like if you're not going to retrieve the corpse and take what you want from it, why run through the city and bring attention to this thing? Shooting guns blazing, mind you. Like that was just so like ridiculous. And how hard is it to shoot a cat? But like you're gonna do all of this to let it just get away and not take the thing you want from it.
I don't think they were after the necklace so much.
Why are they chasing the cat for? Was he gonna say something to the cops?
No,
meow 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 meow.
The necklace belonged to the girl.
Yes,
I think the girl put it around the cat's neck to get the word out, and I think they were trying to kill the cat so that no one could discover it. And when it sunk to the bottom of the ocean, they thought they were fine.
That was dumb. I think that's really, I get that, but that's really stupid.
That's what I surmise. I'm not defending it.
That's what I surmised too, but I was thinking like, you know, all this, and the guy shows up like, you guys do the thing, and they're like, yeah, we did it. And he's like, he just said, go get the thing I want you to get, because it was just really dumb. That's all. It was just really like, this is stupid.
Look, it's Catwoman. They needed to have a cat.
I know. I was thinking to myself, of course, the cat, and of course, gonna run to Catwoman, but like
that's what they needed to get the story started. All right,
I know. I was like, this is some bullshit.
Because if she didn't save the cat and find the collar, she wouldn't have known where to go.
And that's another thing about this movie. It's all she's got very lucky doing this lucky thing. That's all this was. Like she was just bumbling her way through the thing. So her only badass scene was at the strip club, I guess. And after that, I was like, she's lucky she made it to the end. That's all I'm saying.
What do you mean?
Because later on, when you get to the fight at the docks, she should be dead 10 times over.
She's got a super suit.
TJ.
What?
TJ. What? This super suit. She got her ass kicked and thrown through so many things in this fight scene. Like. And I'm assuming she's after Batman, right? So she'd be like, Batman becomes Batman, and she gets inspired by Batman, I assume.
Well, not inspired by Batman,
right? Like what? Like they don't give you enough detail for me to like.
No, it happens in the actual year one movie.
Yeah, I know.
Time and Catwoman.
Yeah,
so, but I wouldn't say she was inspired by Batman as much, like because she's not like stopping crime. No. But like she's influenced in the way of dressing up in a costume.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. But like, does she train physically for shit like this?
Well, they show right in the beginning she's already capable of holding her own against Bruce Wayne.
I'm saying in this movie.
Oh, in this?
And that's right. I got that complaint later on in the movie. We get to the movie.
And the short? I'm assuming the short takes place after the movie.
So how much training? Like, I don't know. She's outrunning a vehicle, TJ, later on in this short. She's outrunning a vehicle. Unless that super suit gives her extra speed, there's no way she's outrunning that vehicle.
When is she outrunning a vehicle?
That crane that's chasing her and she gets into it and it flips over. She outruns it for a few seconds and then she gets caught up into it, but like...
Yeah, I was like way ahead.
Yeah, nah.
That's like any movie that you see that they start off ahead and then guess what? The thing catches up.
It's just, I was like, nah. I was not buying this.
Okay, that's just a weird thing to have complaint to have in a comic book. Sure, but
TJ,
okay.
come on, TJ, you know me.
You would not be complaining of it if it was in any other movie. Like if John Wick, if it was
goddamn well complaining about that shit.
If it was a John Wick and John Wick was running out and the car caught up and ran him over, you would not be complaining about it.
I complained about when it happened in that movie. Like, okay, this man clearly just got hit by a car and he's walking around for the rest of the movie. Bullshit. This man fell from a skyscraper in the last movie and he's alive. Okay, sure. I trust me. I roll a lot in those movies. As much as I do semi-enjoy them, I critique the shit out of them.
I'm just saying, you need to suspend your disbelief a little bit
more
for superhero movies.
I don't know.
There's a reason. There's a reason why they're superhero movies for things like this.
Yeah, but she's not a superhero. That's the thing. That these aren't superheroes. We're not doing this. Okay, going back to the cat getting taken over by the gang members for some reason. The cat gets chased.
Yeah, she finds the necklace, and then we cut over to the mob guy, Rough Cut, going to a strip joint, and yeah, they watch some strippers, and then Catwoman shows up and starts to strip, and then she beats everyone up. And then
her face is fully revealed too. Like, huh.
Yeah, she's never hidden her identity. Everyone knows who she is.
Really?
Yeah,
that's gotta be problematic, right?
Well, she doesn't really have a. Like anytime they show her like they permanent residence or anything, she's usually.
But if everyone knows who she is, she works at the strip club, and then she goes out and changes to Catwoman, does her Catwoman thing. So if everyone in that strip club knows, oh, that's Sylvina, because she uses her name. No, her name's like.
No, she doesn't work at that strip club.
She doesn't work there.
No, she came in and said, "Go take a break. I'm going to go out there." And they just thought it was. They thought there was someone new. They said, "Oh, this is new." She doesn't work at the strip club.
So then why is she so good at stripping then?
That's a question you might need to ask her.
No, so I feel like she was doing some techniques I think most stripping, like most average people, yeah, she's not average, I guess. She was like holding her body on that pole, like holding her weight up and shit like that.
Well,
doing moves like strippers do.
She's very cat-like in reflexes, so she's able to do that stuff. And I don't know if you watched the movie, but she's kind of a prostitute in the movie.
That's trash. Is she a prostitute in the comics too, or is that just for this whole arc and series?
She's a prostitute in the Year One comic.
Okay.
I don't know about past that.
Okay. I just paused my YouTube video as she's stripping. Like, God damn, I didn't mean to do that. God damn it. God damn it. YouTube, I'm not a pervert. Don't save that for weird algorithm reasons. Okay, because I figured she wasn't always like that in the source materials.
No.
Okay.
No, this is definitely a Frank Miller decision.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Of course. Like Year One has influenced a lot of the lore in Batman because there's a lot of things in the story that you see in media today.
Yeah. Like
in this story, but and it's influential and it's a good story overall, but Frank Miller's always been kind of ridiculous in his portrayal of certain things, like making Catwoman a prostitute is unnecessary, but whatever.
Yeah, no, he's a man. That's what men do.
So, but yeah, I don't want to complain too much about this story and Frank Miller, because I'll get to that when we have to cover The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, she's at a strip club. She does a strip club thing, beats up Roughneck, whatever his name is.
Rough cut. And he gets away, and there's a giant car chase. I'm actually more surprised you weren't more complaining about this car chase.
So honestly, I don't doubt this car chase. I was like, okay, a car chase. And whenever there's a car chase, it usually adds nothing to the story, usually, so I was just like, not pay attention. But usually car chase is taken away from the story, so like, I'm looking at it now, it looks kind of ridiculous. But yeah, what about it?
She gets blown up at one point, sent skidding across the ground, almost gets run over by a car.
Yeah. Thank you. I did see that. It's like, come on, guys. I was out there too. Like
that was some bullshit. More. That's more unbelievable than her being chased down by a crane.
No, you're right. That's what started my "she should be dead here" moment. And then that's like, yeah, she gets thrown into a car. Like, either that suit, no, because that suit gets torn off. So there's no way that's a super suit. And like, she's a person, TJ. She's not a superhuman advanced. She's not on any Venom that I know. She's a person, right?
I mean, as far as we know.
So there's not like this highway chain. She's ridiculous.
Very fit and well trained.
Nope, no, that's not how that works, TJ. I could take the most star athlete, male or female, from any athletic bullshit in the world right now, and make them do the things she just did. They're gonna be limping from that after their adrenaline wears off.
She landed. She landed on her feet because she's a cat.
At that point, you're going to the mystical side of the Catwoman movie we reviewed a while back, and I remember how
You don't know.
I remember how you felt about that.
You don't know if she has super cat powers. Maybe she does.
They don't tell me, but I don't know. Do you think no, they would tell you in this showcase? But yeah, sure. She's got mystical bullshit powers. She's dead, TJ. There's no way she would live through any of this.
It's just a silly action scene. Who cares?
I care.
Why?
Because I'm a bitch critic, TJ.
It's like this is supposed to be stupid, silly fun.
I didn't get the memo.
You're going into year one, and anyone who's going into year one knows what kind of story it is. And
I didn't.
I know you did.
That's why I was kind of like, "What the shit did I just watch?"
But you know what kind of story you're getting, and this short fits that perfectly, that tone perfectly. And it's like, okay, I know what we're doing here, but it's weird.
Truthfully, if I would have saw this short first, I think I would have been more favorable to the movie than I am right now. So yes, that's fair, TJ. Because one of my notes, I'll say one of my critiques now for the movie, I wrote down, it might sound stupid, but like, this movie's too cartoonish. In the sense, like, this is too much for me.
Cartoonish?
In the sense, like, everyone knows how to fight karate and shit. Like, come on. Everyone knows things. Like, come on.
Everybody knows how to fight karate. What are you talking about?
We'll get to the movie. We'll tell you.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a chase she should have died in.
Yeah, and she follows him back to his hideout, and she beats him up, and destroys a ship with a crane.
I weirdly didn't have a problem with that. Like, okay, sure.
And she saves the day, and apparently everyone was saying Rough Cup smuggles diamonds, but he was also smuggling women.
Oh, which
was really dark. I mean, I saw it coming, but it's like I almost expected her to open it up and there were children in there.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Yeah, but, I mean, there was a child. In there,
there was a child because Catwoman's partner is a child, but
is an orphan, I guess, because Batman's an orphan. Everything's got to be orphans in this universe.
Catwoman takes in strays as her thing.
Of course.
So, because she's Catwoman.
I know, that makes sense. That's why I'm just chuckling. Like,
so, and Holly's like one of the big ones she's taken in over the years. So, but yeah, so she saves her friend and a bunch of other women, and then the short ends.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous, but it was animated pretty good.
No, yeah, the animation's great.
Because like there was one scene where they were fighting and Catwoman jumps, and at the moment she jumps, she gets hit by a car door and crashes through a window.
I love that.
For some reason, that one scene was like, wow, that was really good animation.
It was. I was like, holy shit. Because you're not expecting it, I guess. And like, oh, that was well done.
It was just really, really well done. I was like, wow.
No, yeah, it's a very solid thing if it wasn't so outlandish, at least. You can't think. That's the thing. You just can't think when watching it.
Yeah, this one was just literally, like I said, this is a popcorn short.
Yeah. Because in the beginning when they had the cat chase for no reason.
They had the cat chase, and then there's naked women all over the place. This was clearly designed for a teenage boy.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like, oh, okay, I know what this is.
It knew its target audience.
And so when you turn off your brain, it's like, okay.
And that's, if I was in high school watching it, like, or not even high school, like middle school, like this is a masterpiece, guys. So,
yeah.
Like I had scene in it, and
I had no issues with the short because it was just short. It was just stupid, and it was just okay.
I was gonna say it's one of the best ones they made, honestly, because it almost is. But then I was like, no, I thought too much about this one. It's not the best one. It's not the worst one. It's a short. I'd say that's a short.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's a solid 6, though.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 5. Like, it's a 5.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's just it is what it is. It adds to the movie. That's all it's there for.
Exactly.
Because it's also the only one of these that actually fits into the movie.
I thought the same, like, it actually ties in. Finally, yeah. I like this.
So
some boring Green Lanterns bullshit.
You like the Green Arrow one.
Green Arrow. There's a Green Lantern one, wasn't there?
No.
I could have sworn there was a Green Lantern. We did Jonah Hex.
No,
Green
but
Arrow.
we did the Spectre.
We
did the Spectre.
There was a Green Lantern one?
There wasn't a Green Lantern one. I think you're conflating the 6 shorts that made up one movie.
God, those were so bad, man.
I think you were conflating them into one of these because there wasn't a showcase of Green Lantern.
Actually, I remember really enjoying the Green Arrow one. I was okay with the Jonah Hex one. I was not like the Spectre one.
Yeah. No, you liked the Jonah Hex one too.
Yeah, I was okay with 6. 6 I was okay with it.
Yeah.
It has moments I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, the last two I were my favorite. So yeah, well, I guess we're gonna rate this one.
We just did.
Oh shit! Yeah, you said 6. I said 5. You're right. Where am I today, TJ?
I don't know. Not here.
No.
All right. Ready to dive into this properly?
Sure. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So we open up with Bruce Wayne. Uh-oh. Hold on. I got to mute the volume that's playing in my earphones right now.
That's always the first thing I do when I open these tabs. Like, mute everything.
There you go. Can't talk to you and listen to the movie at the same time. I mean, I could.
Too distracted.
So we open up with Bruce Wayne flying back into Gotham after being gone free for a long time.
Yeah.
And James Gordon also arriving in Gotham from Chicago, being he transferred in from another precinct. So he's just getting into Gotham as well. And they're both narrating.
And I was out. I was like, okay, we're doing some narration bullshit for the first 20 minutes. Okay, guys. I was like,
and that's actually my first complaint too.
Yeah.
Because this movie is like a panel for panel shot from the comic.
Oh, I like when they do shit like that, so I'm fine with that.
I normally do.
Yeah.
But the entire comic is narrated from Bruce Wayne and Jim Gordon's perspective.
Yes.
And it makes sense in comic book form
Mm-hmm.
because you need that because you don't have they can't really show you certain things.
Exactly.
So, but I think they over translate it.
Yes.
They over adapt it.
Yes.
And I think that's the biggest problem with the movie.
Yeah, because honestly, when they do it in this movie, I was really just hating it. And then there's a point where they segue out of it, and I was like, okay, now I'm into the movie now. Because visually, it's a beautiful animated. It's almost like anime-ish.
Almost, a little bit. It's not quite there.
No, but it's like on the verge, like it's American anime, I guess, at this point. It's very beautiful. But yeah, that narration, kind of noir kind of shit they were trying to do, just did not work.
Yeah, no. And like I'm almost panel for panel for the comic. I have the comic right in front of me.
Yeah.
And it's like panel for panel, like except for Bruce Wayne flying in, but the whole train scene.
Yeah.
And where the beggar comes up with the book to Jim Gordon in the very first scene, and then the detective flashes up is right out of the comic.
Okay.
And
that's
you
cool.
know, like all the dates, January 4th, same thing, right in the comic.
That's
right,
perfect.
Everything's taken right from the comic.
That's perfect, because I've always argued, you have a storyboard that you're ripping from, use it.
Right.
Change some things, like obviously like adapt things that the screen that need to be adapted properly, but you use the storyboards.
But I think there is a problem of being too faithful.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a reason why it's called an adaptation.
Yes.
And there's certain parts of this that I really like seeing on screen from translated to comic and stuff. It's really cool and to see it. But it's like, all right, this movie is slow in certain points.
Yes.
Because it's adapted in the comic.
Yes.
You know? So it's like, okay, I know this is the pace in the comic, but in the comic I'm flipping pages and stuff. So
yeah, you read it at your own accord. So it may be a fast reader, it's quick for you. While other people are slow, et cetera, et cetera. All this movie only has one tempo. It's like, well, shit.
Right. And the comic is also a 4-issue comic.
Oh, wow. So
this is adapting 4 issues here. And each comic has its own, like, it still follows the story perfectly, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, each comic is building up to a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this one, you don't feel that build as much because it's not one comic. It's one length story. You know what I'm saying? So there's just certain things about the movie that doesn't work because it's almost a comic panel for panel adaptation.
Yes.
Anyway, so we open up with them arriving, and then we get the year 1 credit in and out. They didn't even bother to stop. They do what movies do nowadays, where they just jump in and then they save the credits for the end.
I loved it. TJ. It was great.
And then, so this movie both made it easy and hard to take notes.
Really?
Yeah, because
I didn't take much notes, so
because all of the dates allowed me to break things up.
Yeah,
but there are so many dates.
Yes.
So now, even if there's like literally one day would be one little tiny scene, but now I got to talk about that scene because it's a separate day.
I mean, I guess you do. It's just not that important. Just
well, like, you know what I'm taking the notes. You know, it's like, all right, January 4th, and then another day. Oh, January
Oh
and
yeah,
this.
That's fair. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that was 3 seconds.
that was important shit. Yeah. Cross that out, I guess. Yeah.
Anyway, and this is year 1 of Batman, so the dates are there to show you the progress over the year, essentially.
Oh, wow. I'm an idiot. I just put that together. You're right. Honestly, I just forgot the title of the movie. Like, okay, it's Batman. Oh, year 1. Duh. Okay,
Yeah.
Touche.
It starts with January 4th and ends on December 3rd.
Damn. So you're saying all this happens in a year?
Yeah.
I don't buy the Catwoman bullshit then. I just don't buy that. Her being so, I don't know.
She's already at that level.
So she was doing crime fighting for Batman.
No, she wasn't crime fighting at all, but she was training herself up to survive the kind of life she lives.
Sure. I don't know. Sure. So I feel like if I argue against that, I feel like I'm being a sexist. And I'm not trying to be a sexist. I'm just as a character. Sure.
To be fair, there's not a lot of her in this.
No, I'm talking about the short. Like that's like.
Oh, the short.
Yeah.
You're still harping on the short.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like what? Okay. What? No.
But to be fair.
Even who knows with him in this, I call bullshit.
To be fair, though, who knows how long the short was after this?
Yeah, that's why I can't argue too much about it. Maybe it was like a year or two after this movie. Maybe it was directly after. Who the knows? We don't know.
Yeah, they don't really give us a timeline.
That was okay. When we get to her fight and his fight, I'll call bullshit on her fight. So, anyways.
All right, January 4th, Gordon gets off the train and he's we already talked. It was hassled by a peddler, and then we get introduced to Detective Flass. He is one of the primary antagonists in this, and he picks up Jim. He's taking him. He's kind of telling him how things work in Gotham, and along the way, he stops and brutalizes just some kid on the street for no reason.
No, hold on. Not just some kid, TJ.
Some black kid. I'm sorry.
There we go. The only black kid in a group of white kids. He beat the out of this black kid. I was like, hold the shit up.
Yes, he did.
Like,
because he just shows you how bad these cops are.
But like, really, I was. What do you need to say?
Really wanted them to lose then, didn't you?
Want him to lose? What?
You really wanted him to lose in the end, didn't you?
Not at all. Because I was like just watching this, like, again, go back to my cartoon. Like, they're so over the top bad and so cartoonish villains. Like, I was out of it. Like, I was like him beating up the guy in the train station, or was it the train station? Wherever Gordon came out of. And then, like I said, beat the black kid up. Like, this is just so cartoonish. And I get there's some asshole cops out there. I know there's some bad police districts out there. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I'm not dumped it around, but I just thought this was too over the top corruption.
No, I didn't get it. I didn't get that at all.
That's why I got it. I was like, this is way.
This is exactly, how bad Gotham has always been portrayed.
I know. And it's like, but for some reason, this movie, it was cartoonishly bad.
Well, this is before. Look how bad Gotham is when Batman and James Gordon are there.
Yes.
This is before they are there to clean up. It's going to be way worse.
Yes. It's just like, I guess I'm trying to put too much logic. Like, if you're living in that kind of area, it's like, why do anything? Why ever be out in public? I'll be in and out, and that's, I don't know.
Some people don't have an option, dude.
No, but like, why hang out in the corner of the street if you know a cop's going to try to harass you? I'll be in my house all the time. Or be at my friend's house. Or be somewhere not in the public.
Wabs, they don't have a house.
So be at my friends or be in a library.
Wabs,
be somewhere where I can be for a long period of time.
Okay, and eventually you have to come out, and you don't think cops patrol every day of every...
Yeah, you're saying that black kid was homeless. You're saying this group of kids were homeless.
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying they can't be inside 24 hours a day.
I would be in a place where I will not get harassed, ideally. Let's say that. I don't know.
In Gotham?
Exactly. So it's like... That's why I don't like God. It's just too cartoonishly like, oh, this is a bad area.
Dude, I've grown up in bad area. I'm
not saying you don't. Trust me, I know these places exist and this shit happens. But I just feel like this was over the top. That's all.
Nah.
It's not, I guess.
When you see in real life a whole freaking corner street being arrested by cops, people line up against a wall. It's not cartoonish at all.
Yeah, no, but to me, even reality-wise, if I saw that, like, what the f***? Like, what kind of world are we living in? So I would be like, this is bullshit and this is cartoonish shit. Even in real life, I would be saying that to myself. Like, what the f***?
But that's fine, but that doesn't make it any less than what it is.
I guess. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like, I know the shit going on around the world in Iran and all the place. Trust me, I get police brutality. Shitty. Trust me, I am that guy who's against that kind of shit. It's just seeing it in this movie is like, Maybe because it was a Batman movie. Maybe if it wasn't a Batman movie, I'd be like more on board. I was like, this is where we're going with this, huh?
I don't know what else you wanted.
A little bit more subtlety. A little bit more.
A
A
little bit.
fraction more. Not a lot. I'm not asking for a lot, but not... And I get the cops are so corrupt and bad that they can just do the things willy-nilly out in public and no one can do anything about it. I get it. Everyone's in everyone's pocket. Trust me, I get it. But maybe it's because I've seen this so many times in a Batman movie, like, I just don't give a shit. Like, and I've seen it done better, so like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
I think this is the one that started all that, though.
And that's my thing. This came out in 2011. So yeah, this was probably great back then.
The movie came out in 2011.
Oh god, yeah, and the comic forever ago.
I think 1986.
Jesus Christ. So yeah.
So yeah, like this started all those tropes.
Yeah.
You gotta keep that in mind.
That's true. That's true, I guess.
Not only do you have to keep that in mind, you have to keep an extra in mind for this movie since it is just a straight 1-to-1 adaptation.
That's fair. That is fair. Continue. What's up?
Like, this movie is called Batman Year One, but this might as well be called James Gordon.
Yes.
This is not a Batman movie.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Batman's a background character at best.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the big climax and spectacle is around Batman, but that's more around everything closing in.
Yeah, but mostly it's like Jim Gordon getting accustomed to
right, because you don't really get into Batman's personal life. This is all about Jim's personal life.
You know what? I can agree. And I think if they would have just taken all the Batman shit out and put it more in the background and really made it like the rise of Gordon, I would have loved this movie, TJ. Because I did like the parts of Gordon's, like, again, this part, he's like, okay, I'm in the city. I'm from Chicago. I came from an area like this. Gotham's way worse. I'm trying to not interact with these people yet, see how they roll. Oh, this guy's a piece of shit. Let me not interact with him yet. Let me see how he continues to roll. I like that. That was great.
And I just think your Batman biases are coming in. Because a big part of how Jim Gordon rises is because of the vigilantiness of Batman, and
I like that sequence later on. That fight sequence where he's like, "Oh, they're making Batman a hero," and like he's like kind of rooting for Batman. I like that shit a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah. I don't know what you're complaining about then.
I don't know, because after this sequence, we cut to Batman crying over his dead parents. Don't give a I do not give a shit. And there's a flashback later on. Could not care any less, teach.
Those scenes are so far few between, and you can't have
Batman's got blood everywhere when he's getting shot up. Like, come on, I'm not gonna do any DNA tests and like automatically match it to Bruce fucking Wayne. Like, come on.
It's 1986 DNA tests. 1986 DNA tests weren't a thing.
Oh, they were a thing to incriminate black people for sure, but you can't incriminate with big white men, huh? Continue.
No, I don't think they were prominent in 1986.
86, 80s. Come on, 86.
I'm pretty sure.
Let me look this over because there's no way they were not DNA tests.
Okay, I was going to look it up too, but I'm pretty sure 1986 is when it started.
And when was the movie taking place?
1986.
Yeah, so come on, TJ. They would definitely have tried it.
So it was preliminary at best. It wasn't perfect at all.
I mean, it's still not perfect.
Well, obviously, but like nowadays they're solving crimes from the past with DNA testing and stuff like that. But like it wasn't like that then. It was hard. It was hard back then.
I know, with the amount of blood he was such a wanted character, they would have collected some. And over the years, they would have like had it saved a little while. Like, hey guys, DNA test is pretty big, and we have a lot of Batman blood right here. We should check that shit out.
To be fair, when he was shot, there was a lot going on. So maybe,
no, I know. But there was also a lot of blood too.
They burned down a building, first of all, and it could all be going there. And two, who knows how much other blood has been mixed in with all the other people getting knocked down? That's not an excuse,
because then you just, okay, there's 20 DNA samples here out of all of Gotham City. Perfect. Then we have 20 prime suspects. Let's see who burned into this building we just bombed.
Yeah, but
let's see who were possibly not burned in the building.
I'm pretty sure some DNA can be contaminated and...
some, but like if you can collect a lot of it, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
I know. I just think you're overthinking this a little too much.
That was a lot of blood, TJ. Anyways, I'm sorry. After Jim Gordon meets Flask.
To be fair, there was a lot of blood, but it all seemed to stick to his suit.
Well, he left some. Yeah. There were some points where he was like blood puddles towards like later showing his like footprints and shit like that. But then again, like you said, it was burned in the building. So
yeah, we get some messed up things in this.
We do. Oh god, we do. That's probably my favorite sequence in this whole movie. Is that little middle part? Like that's my favorite sequence.
Yeah,
because it gets really dark.
All right, so hold on.
Yeah, I know.
Back to the beginning here. Jumping all around here.
Sorry.
Still on January 4th. Oh, by the way, just you can't really have Batman Year One without, at least referencing why he's being Batman. That's why the flashbacks are there.
Trust me, I know. I know.
And honestly,
Yeah.
1986, I think this is when they were reestablishing the origins anyway.
Ugh.
Because I think it was like only 2 years after Infinite Crisis where everything got rebooted.
Yeah.
So
I think the audience knows I hate Batman because I'm doing a podcast. I think if it wasn't for this podcast, I would have really enjoyed this movie a lot more.
I think you would have. I think your biases kicked in because it was Batman.
It's always going to kick in. Every time I see a Batman movie from here on out, like, God, we're doing Batman again.
I'm just saying, because this was...
I know. I don't mean it. I really don't mean it. It's just like...
I have my problems with this movie, but I'm not going to sit here and say it was a terrible movie.
I'm not saying it's terrible. It's not a terrible movie. I'm just exhausted, that's all. But yeah, again, I love the Jim Gordon shit in this movie a lot more than I ever would have guessed how much I care about Jim Gordon.
Oh yeah, Jim Gordon is an actual really good character.
Yes, this made me like him way more.
When they get the focus on, when they do focus on him, it's pretty good.
Yes.
Anyhow, after police brutality and stuff like that,
and maybe I guess I don't like the police brutality shit because it's too real, I guess.
Like I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bryan Cranston, that's really why I don't like Breaking Bad. It's like a little too close to what things are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like. And I can recognize it's an okay show, but it's like,
yeah. So like some things are like they're great, but it's like this is too real.
Like there is an episode of Breaking Bad of just going into a druggie's house,
yes,
and it's a mess. And I've been in a couple of those houses like that. It's like, ugh.
I am blessed to not have to deal with that kind of shit in my life. I could definitely see that, or to see the we're spoiling Breaking Bad right now. The sequence where Jesse's girlfriend is that's her final scene. She dies in that scene.
Oh yeah, she overdoses.
That's kind of real. Like that's a little dark. Granted, it's Breaking Bad. It should be dark, but like Jesus Christ, could not imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it. So some real world situation. I'm glad these shows address it. It was like this is kind of disheartening. There's no answer to it.
Well, you know what the beautiful thing about these things are, like especially in this thing is, at least in these things get better.
That's the sad part, TJ.
I know. I'm just saying.
That's not a good thing.
At least in those worlds, things get better.
Oh man!
Like this is a story of overcoming that.
I guess I'm just too much of a cynic. Like, does it get like my argument? I've always say outside of this podcast, does it get better in the Batman universe? Does it really get better? I just feel like it's like the same.
It gets the police aren't corrupt anymore, and you can actually depend on them to do stuff. Sure, they're overly outmatched. That's stuff.
Yeah.
But at least you could depend on, the people who are supposed to be protecting you to protect you.
Is Gotham's police, I guess at this stage of the comics and like our current timeline, is it corruption free or is it still like one or two cops that are bad?
Well, I want to say it's corruption free, but they kind of just started doing a few comics based on it, and they're showing like basic problems that the police force has and stuff like that. If you know what I'm saying, like they're literally, there's a comic, I think it's called the GCPD, the Big Blue Wall, I think it was called, that I just read, and it just focuses on like 3 cops that just joined the force.
Oh, okay.
And the commissioner, Renee Montoya, who is now commissioner because Jim Gordon's... Where is Jim Gordon? I think he's a private detective or something.
Of course.
I don't know where he is at the moment. But anyway, like one of the kids is cops is like a parole officer, and it's showing him struggling like with his person that's training him. Why are you being nice to these guys? They're all losers, all these criminals and stuff.
See, again, that's too real. I think that's so sad.
And then another person, the girl cop doesn't shoot a guy, and they raise her up to be a hero and stuff because, hey, she didn't shoot that guy, But then it happens again, and you come to find out she didn't shoot that guy because she froze.
Yeah,
it wasn't because she chose not to. So then there's a whole big controversy around that and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So like there's that stuff going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say that's corruption.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
It's not. It's not to this level in this movie. Like how
where everything's bought and paid for, and like it's pretty much cops are just mafia.
But see, but like maybe my other issue with this. No, I'm harping on this a lot. I'm sorry. Like I love a good dirty cop story. I love seeing like a precinct of like half good, half bad cops. I like that kind of stuff. So I guess seeing it in like this movie, how they're all just openly, or I guess a lot of the bad ones are just openly bad and not sneaky bad. I guess to me, I feel that's kind of lazy. That's why it's cartoonish. But when they're like behind the curtain, kind of sneaky and bad and like doing bad things, I like that more.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, but at the same time, this is police force that's just been so corrupt for so long.
Yeah.
And honestly, their mistake was bringing in Jim Gordon as a lieutenant
Oh God, yeah, for sure.
instead of just like a B cop or something, giving him rank and stuff so he could actually like, boss other cops around.
Why would they bring Gordon in?
They actually explained that. I didn't get to that point.
I know,
yet
I don't remember that part. I'm
you,
sorry.
You keep it's stopping me. I'm still on January 4th.
Well, we're talking a lot about cops right now. Who would have known Dirty Cops would have been such a huge issue and a lot to talk about? Fascinating. Anywho.
Anyway, so we're still on January 4th, and, after the police brutality thing, Bruce goes home, and he's just, like, mourning his parents and stuff like that. Now, finally cut from January 4th to February 12th, and, Jim Gordon is talking to Commissioner Loeb, who is another of the main antagonists. And this is where he's like tells him why he brought him in.
I think we learned here that his wife's pregnant, by the way, before we got to 12.
No, that's after.
Okay.
That's in February 12th.
Okay, sorry.
So he's talking to Loeb, and Loeb's like Gordon's here because he brought down a dirty cop in Chicago. And once you bring down the cop, you're kind of like outcast, I guess. That's how that works.
Yes.
And so, but he kept it all out of the papers, essentially. He's avoided, like, press, and he's able to do things under,
Who's he? Who's been able to do this?
Gordon.
Okay.
He kept all of that out of the papers, out of the press. He managed to do everything, kind of, by the way, how Gotham does things, They thought they're going to bring him in. He was going to be just as corrupt as everyone else and will play along. Well, maybe not. Maybe he thinks he's an idealist. Once he gets here, since he knows how to do that stuff, they can keep him in line. Because they do show a few scenes later with the other cops, like, this isn't working out with him.
Yes.
He's doing things.
He's being good.
Yes, essentially. And pretty much it's the commissioner gives Gordon a veiled threat, essentially, here. And then we go home, and we learn that Barbara is pregnant. So, and his personal life is kind of a big part of this whole story. So you know what really confused me about the story, even back when I read it for the first time?
What's up?
Where is Batgirl?
She wouldn't exist yet, would she?
She's the older child.
How old is she?
She's like 7 years older. Supposed to be like 7 years older than Barbara, than her brother John.
So the kid that he just gave is now a father. Was it a boy or a girl? I don't remember.
It's a boy.
Oh, well then maybe she's still in Chicago at a boarding school.
No. I looked into it, but I just wanted to point that out. They're like why is Barbara Gordon not in this? Where's the daughter at in all of this? And apparently, she, at least up into the New 52 reboot, was not actually Jim Gordon's biological daughter. She was his niece.
Oh, okay.
And he adopted her when her parents died.
Ah. So there we go, TJ.
Yeah. I did not know that coming into this.
Learned something new.
So I thought that was interesting. Nowadays, because of all the reboots, she is her biological.
Yes.
So,
which do you prefer? I kind of prefer the adoption thing. Why then, Marcus? There's a lot of orphans in this series. I don't prefer that. Let's make her his real daughter. You're right. I like that better.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I always just thought that was his real daughter.
Yeah.
So I didn't really matter to me one way or another. She's never treated her other than her just daughter.
Yeah, hold on. That makes her his real daughter, though, TJ.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying. It just stood out to me. It's like, where is Barbara in all of this? It wasn't clicking with me, and I was like, and then I looked into it. I was like, oh, I guess this is before he adopted her.
See, only a fanboy would know this because I always knew he had like 2 children, but I didn't know like what was the order. So I thought like, okay, he had a boy. So that was
the first thing I looked up. Who is older, Barbara or?
God damn you, TJ!
I was like, I don't know which one's older. Is John or is it James? I think his name's James.
The fact that you know the kid's name too.
Well, I know the kid's name because he grows up to be a serial killer,
Of course.
and Batgirl's got to take him down.
God, of course, TJ.
It's a whole big story arc where where they're trying to help him, and he's just evil serial killer.
I hate it all. I hate it. Of course, he's got to be related and be a bad person and test the. That's how you know Batman's been on for forever. Like, how many times you got to jump the shark, guys? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why I know James Gordon Jr. because
of course
he's a serial killer.
Of course.
I'm also really big in the Batman lore, so
it's such a Star Wars thing to happen though. Like, oh my god. I do not hate Batman to the point I really do hate it, but it's like, we all have that fandom we get tired of. Let's just say that. Anyway, so did you talk about them beating the shit out of him?
We didn't get there yet.
So hold on. I think that happens, I guess. Okay.
Nope.
I'm watching it right now, but okay.
Nope, it doesn't happen yet.
Well, because the one I'm watching, he lays down with his wife in their bed.
Mm-hmm.
After the long day of being with Fisk. And then that's what comes to February 12th. And you put that into February 12th. Oh, no, you're right. Okay, weird. Oh, I went to February 26th, it looks like. Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, I'll cut that out. Marcus, cut that out. Gotcha.
Okay. You caught up on the timeline now?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm good. We're good.
All right. So yeah, that was nice. He goes to bed and, so forth and so forth. Cut over to February 24th, for some reason, just to show Bruce training. No, that was pointless.
Well, it shows he can cut down a tree, which is like, okay, he cuts down a tree of his legs. You can't cut down Catwoman? Mm-hmm.
Well, the point of the scene is, I'm skilled this way, but I'm not ready to take down the criminals yet because I don't have whatever it is I'm missing yet. Okay, we get it. The Bruce stuff is a little weak. Oh, and I also want to mention, do not like the voice actor.
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne.
You alluded to that earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the voice acting was fine overall, but his was just not. There was something off about it to me. I did not like it.
It wasn't Kevin Conroy. R.I.P.
Yeah, no, it wasn't because it wasn't Kevin Conroy. We had a few Batmans now. I just think he didn't really do a good job with it.
I think he was okay, honestly. He wasn't like distracting to me.
I don't know. He was like nasally or something.
Oh, that's fair.
I don't know. It was distracting to me. I didn't really like it. Anyway, now we cut over to February 26, and Flash has completed the lobe that Jim Gordon's not fitting in. And he's like, do something about it then. Wait till I'm out of town and then do something about it, Loeb says. March 11, this is where Jim Gordon gets his butt kicked.
Hey, he should be dead here. I guess not dead.
Well, no.
I feel like he should be like paralyzed or something from this shit.
No, they weren't out to paralyze him. It was just a threat to keep him down.
They beat the out of him 4 wooden baseball bats.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you
like the first hit was to his head, TJ.
Yeah, and he got knocked out for a little while.
And they just wail on him. I guess. But like,
it was in the ribs. It wasn't like in the legs.
He should be hospitalized. 4 adult men are wailing on me with baseball bats.
It depends on whether or not how much they were really trying to hurt him.
One hit with baseball bat's gonna hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna break anything. It's just gonna bruise.
No. It's gonna fracture some ribs at least.
Possibly, but that's not gonna stop you from, doing things.
I don't know. Oh, sure. I don't know.
Anyway. Yeah, so they beat him. Oh, by the way, I don't know if they mentioned it in this, but Jim Gordon's a Marine.
Yeah, they
ex-Marine. Okay. Because he's talking about having to take down Flash, who's an ex-Green Beret and stuff.
I've done it before. I could do it again.
Yeah. So, anyway, while Gordon's getting beat up, Bruce Wayne's in, like, the red light district. I don't know why he decided to go there. I guess that's where he wants to find criminals. He disguises himself, puts like a fake scar on.
It's just, you gotta know that's Bruce Wayne, right?
No,
there's no way you don't know that's not Bruce Wayne.
Not everybody knows what Bruce Wayne looks like. And why would Bruce Wayne be in the red light district?
Bruce, I just like.
Look, I'm just saying there are a lot of people look alike. There's a lot of characteristics, and there's a thing about why would Bruce Wayne be in this part of town and stuff like that? And if this guy's got this giant scar on his face and he says it's distracting, that's the whole point.
Yes. But still, if Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or any billionaire person we know today, just do that, you look a lot like.
Yeah, but those guys are constantly in the public, and Bruce Wayne's been missing for 12 years.
Orphan child whose parents were slain, whose parents who were known to the city because this is the city.
Yeah, and has been missing for 12 years.
Wait, he's back now. He is back. And no one. He was when he landed. He was taking. They were taking pictures out the wazoo of this man, and that's going to be on the front newspaper. Like, oh, Bruce Wayne's back in town. Couldn't care. Next page. You're going to have that picture ingrained in your head. And it's been a few months.
Not.
It's been a month or two now.
No, you would not.
Yes,
I can tell you for a fact, I've seen pictures of people in there and I couldn't tell you who they are.
TJ.
Oh, and no, I think you are overanalyzing people's ability to, like, register stuff like that.
Yes and no. For sure, I know I am over, but it's Bruce Wayne. And I guess, okay, we're in February, sure. If this was later in the year, I'd be more arguing than my point. But yeah, we're just still freshly, he's back, sure. But like, I know who Elon Musk looks like. And I wish I did not know who he looks like. I don't give a f about Elon Musk or Bezos. Honestly, or any of those guys. I
kind of know what they look like, but if I saw it on the street, I wouldn't think, oh, look, that's Elon Musk.
TJ. But people who are usually who are looking at the public, the news, the stratosphere of what's going on in the world. Usually.
You think these people in the red light district who are selling their bodies are watching TV and reading newspapers and seeing who's in the public's eye right now?
Probably because they are people still. Yes, probably. And also
in 1986?
Probably, TJ. Probably.
The internet's not a thing?
The newspapers are always everywhere, always flying floating on the ground. And also people who visit the red light district who are businessmen, hey, they get my you-know-what wet. Oh, well, that guy kind of looks like Bruce Wayne a little bit. I don't know.
But he's not proposing anything. He's just walking down it.
Yeah, so the other guys walking down the street. So, like, I figured...
Like, that's what I mean. He's just another guy.
Yeah. I trust me, I know. But I just feel like someone crossing past this guy would like, you look a lot like the guy who just came back, whose parents were slain years back.
But he's got you... But you have this giant scar on your face.
Doesn't mean shit all. You can get a scar quickly, TJ.
I'm just saying, he looks... Bruce Wayne, it doesn't stand out, like, as far as...
This motherfucker works out day in and day out. He's a big dude. I don't know. I'm not saying they're all going to be like, hey, that's Bruce Wayne. Why you got that fake scar on? But I'm just like, someone's going to like, that looks like Bruce Wayne a little bit. I see a lot of doppelgangers. Like, that kind of looks like a person.
They're not going to be like, hey, look, that looks like Bruce Wayne a little bit. They're everyone if I'm with
someone, yeah. Hey, that comes
you would, but that's you. Most people be like, that's where maybe that looks like a little bit like Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
And that would be in their head, and that would be the end of it.
I guess you're right. I love our Batman podcast. This should not be an hour and 10 right now, too. Our podcasts are always so long when it comes to Batman. I hate it. That's why I dread the Batman podcast.
You just said you loved it.
I always have so much to complain about Batman. Most of it not even valid. It's like, God damn it. Okay, so we're in Red Light District.
Yes, we're in the Red Light District, and we get another.
Hold on. I'm looking at the scene right now. So he's getting in a scuffle with this guy, and there's a crowd around him. Not one motherfucker in that crowd like, okay, looks like Bruce Wayne. Not one person is thinking that.
No, because there's a fight going on.
Yeah, I think I would notice a fight between, again, Elon Musk and someone else.
Again, it's like, okay, now there's a fight going on in the Red Light District. This guy's fighting a pimp. Why would Bruce Wayne be fighting a pimp?
Exactly. So you think that, like, this motherfucker, Bruce Wayne, not you? Like, I don't know, man.
No, that would convince me that it's not Bruce Wayne.
I don't know. I'd be really like, what's going on? Why is Elon Musk?
Bruce Wayne? Why? He's got $1 billion. He should be in, like, sleeping with some supermodel somewhere. Why would he be down here?
Even if it wasn't. Even though this is just a guy who looks like Elon Musk, or not Elon, it looks like a guy who looks like Bruce Wayne. After the fight's said and done, anyone who watched that who thinks it looks like Bruce Wayne, who just looks like him, will tell all his friends, yeah, I saw this motherfucker who looks like Bruce Wayne get his ass kicked or beat up. I forget how this fight plays out. Get an altercation with his pimp. Bruce Wayne fought a pimp. That's how legends start. And I don't know.
No, I don't think you're right on that one. Again, he doesn't stand out that much. As far as he looks like a normal guy,
I guess, with a fake scar on.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, he doesn't stand out.
In a sense of a cartoon, no, he doesn't. But I feel like in real life, this person would stand out. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, like, Bruce Wayne has no characteristics. Like, he's got regular hair.
He's a wealthy man.
Yeah.
That stands out enough, TJ. This man is...
What I'm saying
in our
a little bit of a disguise, a little bit like a hat, a jacket, not an expensive jacket, just cheap clothes or whatever. Go walking down the street, no one's gonna recognize. Hey, that normal looking guy. Maybe he kind of looks like Bruce Wayne, but why would he be here?
That's not wrong. I feel like I keep going to Elon Musk because he's the most popular right now. I feel like Elon Musk could probably pull that off if he really wanted to. So I guess you're not. But
at the same time, Elon Musk looks weird.
Yeah,
he's got got weird facial structure.
So I guess if Bezos were to put like a fake wig on and walk around.
Well, no, all he's gonna do is put a hat on.
Yeah, because I guess he looks like average. I guess he's got average stature.
Yeah.
We should test it. I can't test it. Okay, I guess we should. I wish they could test that out one day.
And you're putting too much credit into what people pay attention to.
Oh, I know I am. I trust me. I know how easy it is. I stick out, so I can't blend in. But I know how easy it is for people to blend in. So I get that.
Like, when I'm walking down the street, I don't look at anybody. I don't give a crap.
That's you, though. But again, if you were someone in the public eye, like if we were doing this podcast and we were kind of famous, I think people will kind of pick us out to a point.
Well, me and you kind of stand out.
We do, don't we? As I was saying, I was thinking how you look with all your hair. Like, yeah, TJ stands out a little bit too.
So we're much easier to pick out than some clean shaved, short hair guy that just looks like everybody else.
You're not wrong, I guess. You're not wrong. And so there's a pimp fight. What happens, DJ?
Well, actually, I didn't even get to the pimp fight yet.
Oh my god!
Because something kind of gross happens before that.
Oh god, yeah, I saw that. I was like, ew.
So Holly, Catwoman's sidekick, can't be more than 14.
In my mind, she's 18.
She can't be, though. She doesn't look like it.
She's a child. She's 12, probably.
Yeah, and she approaches Bruce Wayne and says, "Do you want to have a good time?" And Bruce is like, "How old are you?" And she's like, "However young you want me to be." And I was like, "Ew."
I was like, "Don't need to hear that."
And that's kind of why I hate Frank Miller right there.
Yeah,
because that's definitely a Frank Miller line.
And it's like that definitely insinuates that like other people have just capitalized on that in this universe.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's like that's dark. That's really don't need to know that.
Yeah, because not only because. Like the pimp comes over and says you're doing it wrong, while Selina's watching from the upstairs with a client. So it's all kind of gross. But anyway, Bruce doesn't like what's happening here, and he gets in a fight with the pimp. But then Holly stabs Bruce Wayne in the leg.
Yeah, she got to protect her pimp dad. Ew, gross.
And then everybody starts attacking him, and he throws Holly across the floor, which sends Selina in the rage. She jumps out of a second-story window.
I thought that was cartoonish. Like, okay, because I didn't know she was Catwoman yet. Like, this is ridiculous. Who's this lady?
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. She's already Catwoman to an extent. So her and Bruce fight for a bit, and then the cops show up, and they all run away.
Is that how that happens, TJ?
Yes.
Then what happens after they run away?
I wanted to bring up a point.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what it was. That's why I froze for a moment. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. Oh, so... And a couple years ago, there was a line of Batman comics with Batman and Catwoman in a relationship, leading up to them getting married. It doesn't happen, but that's not the point. But throughout a streamline of those comics, I don't know if I mentioned it on this podcast, they were always having an argument about where they met.
By
the way, they don't all run away. I'm sorry. The cops show up and shoot Bruce Wayne in the shoulder.
I was like, what are you talking about? They ran away.
Everyone else ran away.
Okay, so they talk about where they met.
They met, and Batman always says we met on a boat. Catwoman always says we met on the street.
Oh.
So Catwoman's referencing this.
Yes.
Year one. Batman's referencing the debut of Catwoman in Batman #1 in 1946.
I like that.
It's a very cute thing.
Yeah.
In there. It's like we met here, bringing back the two things, and then eventually explains, Bruce says, we always met on the boat because that's where I truly met you as who you are and not just some stranger on the street.
I like that.
Yeah. The whole run of Batman stood out to me as pretty fantastic. Yes. So I always wanted to bring it up. Anyway, yeah. So Bruce gets shot because the cops just shoot people now.
That's where I think I wrote on my... Okay, this was the sequence where I wrote down my notes. Okay, so too cartoonish, / everyone knows hand-to-hand combat, him fighting Selina. And then it said cops are comically evil, and this is just dumb. This is ridiculous. It was too much at once, I guess.
Well, like I said, Selina's Catwoman, you didn't know that at that time, said that.
Well, because they don't say it's Selina, they just see her jump down. Like, who is this?
No, there's... When she's looking at the window... The guy she was says, Selina, come back.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I did not hear that. I just saw this chick looking down at him. I was like, who's this chick? And why can't she kind of run?
No, as she's looking down, she's like, some idiot's about to get himself killed. And he's like, Selina, come back. Definitely. Anyway, so Bruce wakes up in the back of the squad car and he says, pull over, you're going to regret it. And they're like, yeah, right. And then he proceeds to choke out the car and causes them to crash. and the cop car is about to blow up, and he's like, I don't kill, so I gotta save them, even though they're corrupt.
You say even scumbags have families.
Yep.
Or something like that.
Meanwhile, Gordon's going full Mandy here.
It really is Mandy, isn't it? Oh.
Because he wakes up and he calls, he's like, where's Flash at now? He's like, he's at a poker game with his friends. He's not on duty today. And Gordon goes and waits outside and waits for him to get out, and then causes him to crash his car, gives him a baseball bat, and proceeds to whip his ass and leave him naked in the snow.
So good. It's so good.
And he's like, he's not going to tell anybody. He's going to make up some story about 10 guys, and he'll never bother me or Barbara again, because he was threatening Barbara.
Yeah.
Because he's got a thing here. But yeah, that's that.
Then we get
just seeing, we cut over to April 4th, right?
we see Bruce Wayne's dead parents, so yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We're still in. All that happened in this one day.
Yes.
Bruce Wayne crashes into Wayne Manor, and he's like, I can ring this bell and die here, because I don't know what to do. I don't know what the symbol is I'm supposed to see. And then we get the classic scene that's been played to death now. This is where it all started, where the bat flies in, and it's like, oh, Batman.
I was really, I'm telling you, this first act of this movie, or whatever you want to call this, I hate it so much. As you can see by my hour and a half nitpicking of this shit.
Yeah. But I think that's all Batman bias.
Yeah, it is, because like I've seen, if this was like the first Batman thing I would have seen, like, this is really f***ing good, guys. Who's this Batman guy? This is f***ing amazing. This is like my 20th thing this year, so like, Batman. How many times I need to see his origin story, TJ?
This isn't his origin.
TJ's is damn near close.
Anyway, cut over to April 4th, and there's a hostage situation going on, and the SWAT team's about to move in on them, and then we get introduced to the other antagonist. I forget his name, though.
Joker?
No. Brent or something like that. I can't remember.
Guy holding the gun, the bad dude?
The head of the SWAT team.
Oh, yeah, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so the head of the SWAT team is about to go in on this hostage, who this guy has like 3 kids in a room, and after he's was released from Arkham, and he's still insane, so I guess they didn't do their job. But
do you think the Batman series like handles that kind of shit well? Mentally ill, it kind of paints them all in a bad light. Like, did they ever mention in the series and the shit like that? Like, we should fund like mental shit like that. Like,
yeah, they go into it every once in a while.
Okay, because I feel like they just make it look like, hey, if you're crazy, you're bad.
But at this point, it's 70 years of like storytelling behind it, so it's like it's kind of hard to retcon. Hey, mental illness is not as bad as it seems, even though there's a killer clown. And,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like most of the bad people in this were like a part of the rogues gallery. Like, yeah, most are mentally ill. Like, ugh.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like that's age well.
There's a lot of criticism behind, about how Batman's sense of justice is him beating up mentally ill people.
A guy who needs therapy that desperately just goes around beating up mentally ill people. Yeah, this is problematic as f***. That's why it's just like, come on, guys.
It is problematic, but this is what happens when.
This is what happens.
You gonna let me finish my sentence?
Yeah.
This is what happens when you take a story and a character from 1940s. That's just how they portrayed them.
I guess. Well, not really, because like back in 1940s,
and Batman #1, they literally have Batman hanging a mentally ill person from his bat plane and saying he's better off this way.
Ooh, wow. Ooh.
They really thought mental illness was bad. And
we still kind of do, sadly, but
they said you're better off dead.
Oh, that's bad feels. I don't like that.
That's what happens when you steep a character in lore like that. For it's kind of hard to back out of it. And they tried, and but the story wouldn't have lasted for so long if it wasn't good. You know what I mean?
What's good about it though?
Like, the character is good, and they wouldn't have lasted 75 years or whatever we're at now if it wasn't.
Maybe I'm just so against Batman. I'm just trying to figure out why I don't like Batman. Is it because I'm seeing too much of it, or is it like?
I think you're overexposed to it, and because of your critical nature.
I think that's what it is, because like I just feel like there's nothing good about Batman. Like, yeah, it addresses a lot of shit, but like it's not really giving me any solutions to anything. It's like
I think the overexposure and your natural contrarianism really add to it because Batman's popular, and you go against popular things.
I guess not always. Got like Star Wars. That's popular,
but you also hate Star Wars.
I can't enjoy good things. I just man.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I just think, right?
I think it's overexposure and your natural inclination to just hate things.
I should see therapy. Maybe that's why I hate Batman, because I need to see therapy. Oh man, he hung a mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Professor Hugo Strange experimented on mentally ill people and turned them into these giant hulking figures, and they were mentally insane, and he literally kills every one of them.
God, Batman or Hugo?
Batman.
God.
I think he burns two of them alive in a barn, if I remember correctly.
But I guess, yeah, when you're reading as a kid or whenever back then, like, you're not really thinking, oh, these are actually people. No, they're just like, oh, they're bad guys now. So
they're big monsters.
Yeah. That's fucking dark, man.
We covered that on Comics and Us. So anyone curious about that, you can go check that out.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, back to the review.
There's a hostage situation going on. And April 4th, and the SWAT team's about to go in, but James Gordon's like, nah, this isn't happening. Those guys are just going to kill everybody, and those kids are going to die. So he's like speeds along the sidewalk, almost murdering civilians, and shows up the scene. He gets in front of them. He says, "Stand down," and the SWAT team has to stand down because he's Lieutenant Gordon.
Which is surprising because like they're so corrupt and shitty. Like I'm surprised they actually follow his orders.
Well, I think he has the ability to punish them. Like,
but they're still like he does, but like they're all corrupt. Even the commissioner can't he just work around that?
Yeah, but he's also got. Well, he doesn't have it at this point, but they can't. There's also they're openly corrupt in certain areas, but they can't like be openly
what's that word?
Disobeying their higher ups, because then you're gonna have like government problems. You know what I mean?
But like, are you? Because like that's why I'm confused. Like, because we see like they established in this movie the commissioner and like some of the wealthy elite in Gotham are like all like, yeah, we're all evilly bad. So like, how far is the reach of the government in this to the real world government?
I think it only goes up to the mayor.
Yeah, so like I think they can like work around with Gordon and like not give what his orders are, right? Or like
but like you have to understand, like the commissioner isn't in police headquarters. I don't think
he's hired. He's still Gordon's boss, though, right?
Right. Yeah, but he's like not there. Where Jim Gordon's there for the day-to-day activities, and he can, put people in suspension without pay. He can do all these other things, these little minor things that could really disrupt. He can disrupt the whole process of things that are happening. I'm confused.
So okay, you just said so. The commissioner is Gordon's boss, and Gordon's like take control of all these little peon police officers who are corrupt, and they're corrupt, and the commissioner's corrupt, and Gordon's still good, and Gordon's in the middle. So let's say all these peons are getting punished by Gordon, and they can just like, okay, well, we're going to tell the big daddy commissioner and go over your head, and he's going to do something about it. Like, can't they just do that?
Well, what are they going to do about it?
Like, hey, commissioner, which I guess they do in the movie. So, but like
yeah, they do. They do everything they can.
Like, why do they fear Gordon? Like, why? I don't get
that. Because he's got the people on his side and the press on his side, so they actively go against him.
But like that, who cares? Because they're actively beating black kids up in the street. So like, why do they care now?
This is gonna sound really harsh, but no one cares about that.
About what?
About the brutality on the streets.
That's what I'm like. That's where I'm lost.
But if you have, then you have this hero cop come in and he's starting to help people, and everyone's on their side and on his side and stuff. And you think they're gonna, something happens to them, they're just gonna sit down and take that. It's gonna happen.
I don't think the cops would give a if they're this corrupt.
Not the cops, but now you have this major story that brings in the governor's office and out higher ups, maybe even FBI investigation, internal affairs.
That's all. Like, I'm not buying it in the sense of like, really, like this is corruption and badness has been going on. Like this city's been known to be so bad for so long that it only takes one good cop to get punished for some bullshit for you guys to turn around. Like that is bullshit to me.
Well, not one good cop. It's one cop with a lot of publicity behind him.
Because that's bullshit.
But it's just like, you know, you don't ever hear about anyone getting pulled over, but you hear when a celebrity gets pulled over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I get that, but like, I just feel like they can. Like, I'm just not grasping. Like, if I was a bad cop with a bad boss, and there's like a middleman between us, I'm pretty sure me and fellow bad cops and a bad boss can get middleman either to pay, like, to play game or get the f- out of here. Like, I don't see.
And
like,
how would you do that? How would you do that?
I just told you, like,
that's my whole point. There's nothing they can do.
Just not give a shit. Like, oh, you're gonna suspend me, middleman? I don't know.
They tried to beat him to death and it didn't work.
And just kill him. If you guys are this corrupt, he got killed by some random thug. Like, that's why I don't get why they still play along.
But that brings in higher investigations.
Not if you guys are on the same thing, going to stop a bad thing happening, and some random guy shoots the guy. Whoopsies.
But that brings undue attention, and it could lead to
who's gonna file those complaints? His family? Kill his family. Like, because I'm only saying this because these guys are so cartoonishly corrupt. I don't see why they give a shit to play against. Like, I'm not grasping that.
Like I said, because any kind of investigation into something like that could lead to all the other. It's like, sure, everybody's corrupt, but it's dominoes. You know what I mean? It only takes one thing to fall apart for everything to fall apart, and it kind of does when at the end of the movie.
No, it does. I don't know, man. Like, you're not wrong. I'm just not buying it.
So, like, even let's just take it in this fictional world.
Yeah.
Someone kills Jim Gordon.
Yes.
Now you got Batman on the case.
I guess Batman is that big of a threat that is a problem, I guess.
And you have Harvey Dent that's in there too as the DA. Who is also a good guy. I'm just saying that, like, that leads to, okay, now you got two highly publicized popular figures who were killed in Gotham.
Yeah, in a shitty city. Who's like,
a shitty city, but maybe Gotham is known as, you know, certain thing, but maybe it's not as well known outside of Gotham.
Like, you know what I mean? That's gonna make national headlines like, oh, commissioner in Gotham. Like, maybe it will.
Was murdered?
Maybe
was murdered in the street.
In a gang breakout. Like, him and his guys. Let's say I'm not even saying commissioner. He's not a commissioner at this point. Whatever he is at this point. What?
He's a lieutenant.
Yeah, lieutenant was killed in a crossfire between his men and a gang eruption. It's another sad story in Gotham City. Like, I don't think that's going to make, like, national news to the point where, like, oh, there's something going on fishy there. Like,
but maybe not at first, but that brings in, like, the people who, like, the press was on his side. The press comes in, they start investigating. Like I said, you have Harvey Dent, the DA's office, they start investigating. You have Batman. Now, this good cop who was trying to do things is there. Now he's investigating.
Yeah, but do you think these cops who are corrupt and this low, like, think that far ahead of it? I think
the lower cops, maybe not, but the commissioner, definitely. He's the commissioner for a reason.
Yeah. Maybe.
Like, he's got ties to the mafia and all these other things, and if something goes wrong and something else, it could bring down everything. And that could, if the mafia gets brought down, guess who's going to be held responsible and probably killed for it?
See, now you brought the mafia into it. Now he's like, why don't the mafia just kill off Gordon's family and him?
They tried.
Like, how bad are they at their job then to kill off him and his family? I'm not condoning for this. I'm just trying to, like, make sense of it in my head.
But they also mentioned, like, at one point when they sent the mob after family, the guy's like, getting the commissioner is gonna getting to Gordon's gonna probably be tough because he's a cop. He's always surrounded by other cops. You know what I mean?
Also, like, they're also on the payroll too. Like, they're like, some of the cops are corrupt again. Like, oh, it's Falcone.
Not all of them are.
Like, yeah. I guess.
Not all of them. At this point, you can tell Gordon's got his own faction of cops, too.
Yeah, okay, that's fair, I guess. Like, you're laying down valid points. I'm not, like, against you. Like, it's just...
I'm just saying, it's not like it's just Jim Gordon. Yeah. He does have his own posse of guys who listen to just him. You know what I mean? Like, when the SWAT goes in to do the thing we're going to get to later, Gordon holds his guys back.
He does, I guess. But that's what I was thinking. Like, I thought those guys were still his people, like, or against him, or they just
not all the cops are against him, and I'm sure Or over the time, he's been bringing in other cops,
Okay,
or
fair.
other cops, maybe there are cops there who are too afraid to go against the corruption and they fall in line. But Gordon comes in and it's like, okay, we'll follow you and just tell us what we need to do. Because not everyone's bad.
Yeah,
you know?
Just, again, the way this movie has painted it out to be like in the beginning, like these cartoonishly evil cops are just openly doing heinous things. It's like, and no one's acting upon this in the precinct. Like that's crazy to me. That's all. That was like, and then they're gonna try to bend their knee to Gordon, who they don't respect. Like that's weird.
But like I said, some do.
Some do, but the cartoonish guys who are evil, like I feel like the way they're shown in this, portrayed in this, I feel like there's a lot of them that do something about it.
But like you show them in this way, which you know for a fact that they're bullies and evil and stuff, so they're probably treating the guys under them like crap.
Oh, for sure.
So those guys are gonna flock to Gordon. Those guys, the people who the day-to-day basic operations that run everything, that need to have the police headquarters go, are probably on Gordon's side.
Okay, I got nothing. I guess you're right. I don't know. I was just trying to make sense of it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going into like the foundations of how the police organization works and how investigations and everything.
I know, but I just feel like, again, this how this movie is portrayed so far. I feel like there's so many corrupt, bad people doing openly corrupt acts. Like I feel,
but they're not though. They only really show Flash and the SWAT team and Loeb doing bad things.
The rest of the cops
of course that one cop who shot Gordon
and
not Gordon Bruce Wayne, but but like they show a scene later where where Gordon's addressing the rest of the cops and they're just laughing at Flash for his.
That's right. Yeah. Batman thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you can tell that he's got the respect of a lot of the officers too. Okay. So I mean, like it's one thing to take down one guy, but it's a harder thing to take down a guy backed by a bunch of other cops, I have
too many things because now I'm thinking like Batman, a vigilante. Yeah, okay, let's just continue this review. I'm sorry. I was just going down too many rabbit holes in my head. All right. I'm sorry.
So we're still on April 4th.
God damn it, Marcus.
And we have a hostage situation going on. Gordon shows up and stops the SWAT team from going in. Excuse me. He takes out his gun and he goes into the building himself unarmed. He approaches the crazy guy with the gun, and the crazy guy gets distracted by a cat, and Gordon beats the crap out of him and saves the day. Oh, yeah. And so the next day in the paper, he's a hero, and this is where Loeb says now he's got the press on his side. Now he's really going to be hard to handle, essentially. All right. April 6th, the next day after that. So, sonogram, we learned that it's a boy. Gordon's having a boy while he's having target practice. It's just him monologuing some more, explaining things. Then, April 9th, Batman. Hey, Batman's finally here. Was this the Batman where he took down the guys on the
scalpel?
Yeah. So it's his first time out as Batman, and it's actually depicted better in the comic.
Okay.
Because he's actually narrating what's happening, and he's explaining like the one guy is an amateur, but one of the guys is actually trained and could be a problem, and so he's like telling you how he's going to take out each one of these things. Okay. And the whole fight happens before the television drop hits the ground.
Oh, okay.
And that's why you saw the TV drop and crash at the end before the fight was happening, because all that happened in like that split second. Yeah. All right. We cut over to May 15th. We're introduced to a new detective, Sarah Essen, and Gordon is briefing the rest of the group about the new vigilante Batman.
You like the little Easter eggs, I guess you want to call those, on the wall?
Go ahead.
No, you can just bring them up. I just thought they were stupid and funny.
What are the Easter eggs of? Do you know?
This depiction of how Batman was in the comics. Yeah, there's first number A was a Batman creature itself. The second one, I guess, was Red Hood. I guess it was, huh?
No.
Who was that in the second one?
I think they're just descriptions of what people thought Batman looked like on the street.
No, but I think it looks like they're referencing like him throughout history of comics. Like, wasn't there a Batman creature like that in one of the comics at the time?
Yeah, but no. Well, at the time of 1986, Man-Bat?
Yeah, that one. That had to exist by then, right? And then it looked like there was Red Hood, and then it was like there was a 60s version of Batman drawn up there.
I think those were just witness descriptions of what people thought Batman looked like.
Yeah, but I think it was also like a nod to the viewer watching. Like,
I don't recognize the outfits, to be honest with you.
I thought you would have picked up on that.
Yeah, I don't recognize what they would be
comic book wise.
Yeah.
C looks like C on the wall looks like Adam West Batman. Well, B kind of looks like Red Hoodish, but not really. And then
No, he looks more like a Alan Scott Green Lantern or a Green Hornet than he does.
Green Hornet, there you go, yeah. And then A looks like Man-Bat for sure.
Man-Bat is debuted in 1970, so I guess he would be around in this time period, but so like I just took that as Flash's description of what he saw Batman as.
That's fair.
Anyway, so they're like, Gordon's like, okay, we gotta run this down, and he's like, Flash, tell us your experience, because Flash is like in a cast and stuff because he got his butt kicked by Batman. And he tells this outlandish story about how Batman was this monster who took him out, but in reality, it was just regular Batman who took him out. And everyone's laughing at him. Ugh. Anyway, that's that. Sarah Essen, detective, is an interesting character. She actually ends up marrying Gordon in the comics.
Does his wife die?
No, his wife leaves him.
You're too focused on the case and our children, that, and Barbara's now.
Well, she actually just takes the son and goes back to Chicago.
Guys, they don't know how to write female characters.
And Barbara stays with Jim Gordon, and so they ended up getting married and so forth. But the thing I know her best from, so there's a storyline, No Man's Land, where essentially Gotham's cut off from the rest of America. I forget why, but they're like no man's land, and all the criminals have taken over the different parts of the city. It's like a big story arc, and everybody's tried to adapt it at some point or another.
We mentioned it a few times on here.
But Sarah Essen actually found the Joker in No Man's Land down in the basement or something with a room full of infants. She had her gun drawn on them. Joker throws an infant at her. She reactionary catches the baby, and then he shoots her in the head and kills her.
Perfect way to die.
So she died trying to save these infants from the Joker, and it was like one of the only kills that Joker didn't find amusing. And he had a scowl on the whole time and waited for Jim Gordon and Batman to show up.
Why does he not find that amusing? I find that amusing. Oh, my monster. Because she still dies a hero. Like, I respect that.
So I don't remember the storyline 100%, and I could be construed on a few things. But like Jim Gordon shows up and he can't bring himself to kill him, so he shoots the Joker in the leg.
Yeah, and
that's when Joker finds it funny because he remembers how he paralyzed Barbara, and now he's shot in the leg.
Okay.
Now it's funny to him. So, but I don't know why he didn't find it amusing. It was a big deal though that he didn't find it amusing. That this was like the one time he didn't get a kick out of killing somebody. Yeah,
man, I'm up. I guess I find that really amusing.
That he said he had a bunch of infants hostage.
From his perspective, he's got infants. Okay, yeah, I'm not again. He's a monster, sure, obviously. He's got infants. He's got one in his hand. Lady comes down. What the shit, bro? He's like, catch. She catches and shoots him in the head. Like, she dies. She loses the battle or the war, but she still wins the battle by saving the infant from not dying in the throw. So, like, it's a bittersweet moment for her. She's dead, sucks, but she's still called the baby. And I think the Joker would still find like a little chuckle. Like,
yeah, like
he could make a pun out of that.
I have to reread the story arc, honestly, because I don't really remember it. I just remember that, and I remember it being a big deal.
That's weird to me.
And it was like Jim Gordon's. Like, Joker has been torturing Jim Gordon forever.
Maybe he was upset how easy it was, I guess.
Maybe. I don't remember, honestly. But I know it was a big deal that Joker did not find it amusing. Because I know, like, when No Man's Land happened, I don't think the Joker, like, all the villains split up the city, but I don't think the Joker took any part of the city. I think he just went around and was just doing whatever he wanted.
Sounds like the Joker. I don't think he would ever want a part of the city like that.
So, it was like, yeah. I don't know. It's been a long time since I think No Man's Land came out in like 2006. It's been a long time. But yeah, but Sarah Essen's like, I don't want to say she's a big character, but she's an important enough character. Yes. And I just wanted to give context because we don't really, the way they portrayed this storyline here, isn't really the end of it, essentially. Anyway, moving on to May 19th. So Commissioner Loeb's having dinner with a bunch of rich people. And Carmine,
I laughed at this.
Carmine Falcone, who is the head of the one of the mafias. They get into that later.
seems ridiculous.
Lot of things. They're like, yeah, what are you going to do about the Batman? Why would I need to do anything? The people got a hero, and he's taking out lower scum that means nothing to us. And then Batman throws a gas grenade in and says, "Ha, I'm coming for you now."
It's so ridiculous. It's so stupid. It's such a Ethan Rich kind of thing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's like, you've been eating people's money, and now I'm coming for you.
It's over on top. It's so theatrical. Like, oh god, it's just like how people imagine the rich are all the time. It's just funny to me.
Can't prove that they're not like that.
TJ. Is that a straw man argument? What's that called?
A straw man argument.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you just did something. Like, obviously, I can't.
Have you ever had dinner with a bunch of rich people?
Maybe I have. Maybe I haven't. You don't know my personal life.
You don't have a personal life.
I do stuff.
Anyway, May 20th, the next day, Loeb's like, hey, remember when I said, don't catch Batman or else, or you're fired, Gordon. And he's like, okay, I'll go catch him. And at this point, Gordon's kind of like their best cop, and they only have this vigilante, so now they really need him.
What's the best cop? Oh, to catch Batman.
Yes.
Which, that's like the Gordon's point. Why the do they think he's going to willingly catch Batman, who's helping them? Granted, he's a vigilante, but like, why would Gordon be against Batman?
At this point, he is, because he's he's a criminal.
Sure, is he a criminal?
Yeah, at this point, all they know is that he's been like beating people up in the streets.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. And vigilanteism is bad, so okay.
So, June 2nd, they try to put in a sting operation for Batman. Yeah. They have Essen dress up as a victim and being chased down the street. But Batman's like, I'm not stupid. I know what you're doing, Gordon. And doesn't fall for it. On June 5th, instead of falling for his setup, Batman steals Falcone's car and puts it in the lake while tying him naked to his bed. So, okay. June 6th. Oh, I thought my note said Rent is a suspect. I was like, what is Rent?
Who's the suspect?
Dent.
Yeah.
Harvey Dent. Gordon thinks Harvey Dent could be the suspect because, Harvey was more of a character in the comic up until this point. So I'm a little surprised that he wasn't more in this.
Oh, I guess he didn't have time for an hour movie.
That's true. I mean, he wasn't prominent in it, but he was a little more than like one scene.
This review is twice like this movie now, TJ.
Well, I'm not the one who brought up all these rabbit holes.
I know. That's what I do, guys.
I tried to push this forward several times, but you keep distracting me.
I'm sorry. I'll shut up now.
So they think Harvey Dent's a suspect. They ask him about his alibis, and then Essen's like, "Hey, you know who else could be a suspect? He just got in town. His parents were murdered. Bruce Wayne. You need money to do all this."
Why would she think all this? No, she's not wrong.
I was about to say she's like the only one that uses common sense in any of Batman lore.
Yes, he's like, "Duh, thank you, lady."
I mean, it makes sense that Gordon wouldn't know who Bruce Wayne is. Yeah, he just got there.
Exactly.
So it's like, I was like, oh, that's.
But yeah, there's that saying, follow the money. How's Batman affording all this shit? Hold on. And while that's happening, for some reason...
I just want to bring up something. Oh. I want to go back to when the Bat broke into the...
the Wayne's Wit Manor?
Right. So after that scene, the story goes black.
Yes.
Like this...
Is that the cliffhanger?
That's the cliffhanger. That's when the first comic ended.
Oh my god, the first comic's terrible.
So right there.
Okay.
So now, as they're driving, there's an unconscious driver.
Did they ever explain it?
They don't explain it, but Gordon says he must have had a heart attack or something while chasing after him. So the driver's about to hit an old woman. Batman jumps out of the sky and saves him while Gordon tries to stop the driver. The driver finally stops, and they have Batman right in front of him. Essen's do it, but Batman gets away. Cops show up. They shoot Batman, and he goes into this building. That's where the second comic ended.
This is where the best part of the story happens, I think.
Well, this is the climax of the story right here. Batman's in this apartment building. I guess like this abandoned apartment building.
It's like a drug den kind of area, I guess.
And Gordon's like, "We got Batman surrounded. No one shoot until I give the word. Surround it, let's get him." But then the SWAT team shows up and it's like, the commissioner wants a body, we're going to get a body. And they're about to go in, and then they start firebombing the building. Like they destroyed them. They in the comic they explained that the commissioner found out that the building was due for demolition anyway, so they just firebomb it. They don't care about the homeless people that are in there. They're nobodies. They even say that in the movie. They're like, they don't have any families. No one's gonna.
What year was the story?
1986.
Holy shit! Does this happen in the original comic?
Yes.
TJ, you know about the Philadelphia bombing, then, right? It's a year prior to this comic. I knew about the thing that happened, but I didn't know what year it happened. So in 1985, there was a bombing called the Move bombing.
I was 2.
Okay, well, you probably would have heard it by then. So in Philadelphia, a police department.
No, I was 1.
Oh, 1. Jesus,
I'm sorry.
I was -6. You're 6 years older than me. Holy shit. Yeah, a police department in Philadelphia bombed a building. It was just like this because there was a little radical group withheld into it, and they destroyed a building just like this. So wow, this is and I was watching the sequence like this was what happened in Philadelphia, and I didn't know that was a year difference.
Well, he probably stole it.
Yeah, 11 kids. Oh, for sure. And that's fascinating. Props to this guy then. Shit. Yeah, 11 people died in that bombing, and 250 people made homeless. It's called the 1985 Move building bombing. Look it up, people.
Well, I don't think it was as cool as this scene.
No. Well, when I was watching the bombing part, I was like, "Ooh, this is too real." That was too real because I knew about this. But the after the bombing part was when it got better to me because it was less.
Yeah, but like I didn't mention it, but this movie doesn't shy away from the darker stuff. Like, there's blood. Batman gets shot. There's blood, and like they show like burnt corpses and stuff. So
yeah. And after the bombing, they burned up some people in that building.
Yeah. So
I find that fascinating. A year after that, they made that. Frank Miller did this one, right? He put that into a story. I'm surprised. I respect that.
So yeah. Well, I'm not gonna get into it.
No. What?
I just don't know if it's a respecting or he was just being lazy in the.
No, I think I think it's him.
You know,
I think it's him calling. I would think it's him calling bullshit to what happened.
I probably because that's
he's like, what the
different guy.
Yeah, like what the
different guy than he was.
Yeah, maybe he was like, that's not right, or maybe he was being a lazy. Like that's kind of cool.
I don't know. This is the same guy who wrote like it's called Terror or something like that, or something Terror, and it's just blatant racism against the Arab nations.
Oh God,
like,
you're right. God, you're right. I know.
Holy Terror, I think it's called.
Yeah. Was that after 9/11?
Oh yeah. It was. I think it was a few years after.
Maybe it's him. Again, maybe this here is maybe. I
don't know. It's like I said. This
you
is
can't tell, right? It's like
this was 40 years ago compared to like 20 years ago.
No way this is not referencing in that. I just can't tell if it's in good taste or bad taste.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh.
I want to say with my hopeful eyes that this is a good taste. And I'm saying people should know about that. And it's bullshit.
This is a good story, so I'm just gonna let it go.
Yeah. Now, if it was a bad story, I still would hope this is in good taste. That's all I'm saying. That's why I said I respect it.
I just know the guy's not a great guy.
Yes.
So
you're right. Well, okay. Everything I just said is just referencing. This is referencing for sure that happened in 1985. This is for sure because there's no way this is not. That'd be too coincidental, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a year after. I would assume so.
It's had to have happened and referencing that. Hopefully, it's a good taste.
Well, again, I'm not saying there's anything like he did anything intentionally in bad taste. I'm just saying, he probably said, man, that would be cool setting for a story.
But that's bad taste,
take that. Yeah, no.
If you're doing it just for the rule of cool about trying to put a message out there.
What am I saying? It's not like he was like intentionally trying to marginalize someone with it. It just, you know what I mean? So I just don't know what his mindset was when he went into it. And I can't judge him on it.
Yeah. What a weird podcast we're doing today, TJ.
Yeah, it's been more about other things.
It's been about a lot of social issues, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a very social issue movie.
Fuck, no wonder. Okay. So anyways, police bomb a building.
Yeah. And we cut over to Selena and Holly, and they're like, hey, they're bombing that thing. We should find out what's going on for reasons, because they just need to be there for when this happens. And then we get, after they blow up, the SWAT team goes into the warehouse. They're searching for Batman. Batman does things. He loses his utility belt. In the comic, they explain it is thermite.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, in comic they explain it was thermite that blew up, so he loses most of his gadgets and stuff, and he's only got like 3 gadgets left. He's got a couple darts, a grapple gun, and an experimental new device in the heel of his boot. In the comic, they go even further. He says in the comic that I could patent this and make billions of dollars off of this.
Could he though?
But that was my question.
Who don't want that? Maybe a military fight. Maybe.
Nah, I mean, there's applications for it. Maybe it's just ridiculous, you know.
Because he did it in the Batman Begins. First one, right?
Did he do it in Batman Begins?
Yeah. This pretty much happens. He gets caught. He gets stuck in that building up, and the thing happens.
I mean, that movie was just ripping off this comic anyway.
A lot of the Batman movies ripped off this comic, apparently. So as I'm watching it, like, oh yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah, well, that's why I prefaced everything with like, yeah, this is the comic that started a lot of these tropes. So
I'm telling you, if this was the first one I would have saw, I would have like Batman tattoos all over my TJ. Like, I can see like this is like such a good movie, like in fresh eyes.
It is. It's a good introduction to Batman.
It really is. He would definitely recommend to everyone this should be the first Batman thing you should see. Maybe read. I don't know how good the comic is, but for sure see this be the first.
Oh, the comic's good. Okay. Like this is I'm not saying this is a bad adaptation. Like I said, it hurts in certain aspects for it to be an adaptation. You know what I mean? So, but it's only an hour. Yes. The movie and the comics is. I mean, it's only 4 comics, but you know, there's a lot of reading to it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's a lot of narration,
which I'm glad they cut that out as point in the movie.
I would actually recommend if you're into comic books, read the comic. But if you're not really into comic books, stick with the movie.
But either way, do this story arc some form.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell the most recent Batman movie was based off of this. Too.
And that's why I like the movie. Like, this movie's really good, guys. 3 hours is too long. See, 1 hour for this, 3 hours for that. It's just find a happy medium. Maybe the next time they adapt the story, they will.
I don't know if they will adapt this again. Well, I guess if they reboot Batman,
is going to last forever. Batman will be redone to death
1,000 more times. Anyway, so Batman's like I like this story because this is him just fighting regular people.
Yes.
Like he's in this warehouse and they're just shooting bullets at him.
There's
thousands of bullets.
There's no clown. There's no Clayface. It's just cops who are pissed at Batman. Perfect. That's all. He saves the cat because he's still a good guy. He's like, this guy is doing because
there's a cat in the building that survived the firebombing, and he makes sure to get the cat out. He gets shot because of it. He has
no gadgets, so it's just him trying to survive. It's just good. It's just like, I gotta survive. Nothing flashy, no makeup. Cops have a personal vendetta. Like, this is like ground level.
And he's smart too, because he found the electrical panel that let him get underneath, and escape and stuff. He's set up the traps and everything. It's very bad.
Yes, he's knocking down columns after cops waking him. It's like, this is so good. I love this sequence, TJ.
It is the best. It's the best part of the entire movie. It's the best part of the comic too.
And then
it's really, really well done.
So it starts in the middle of the night, and it's just going through all night. Sunrise happens. People are around the building. He knocks a cop through the building, and it's like, okay, the key people see Batman beat up a cop who's corrupt, obviously. And they're cheering Batman on, like, it's like, this is good.
And Jim Gordon's keeping all the other cops back, even though they're calling for backup.
He's like, hey, orders, guys.
And he throws actually the leader of the SWAT squad straight through the wall.
And he's saying, like, Jim Gordon says to himself, these cops are making Batman the hero right now because they're so incompetent and bad.
Yep.
Love it, TJ.
And then Batman's about to get murdered because they have him surrounded, and then a swarm of bats show up because of his vibration, his frequency boot.
Which again, who would want that? But for some reason, it works for me. Like, I love this. It's so outlandish.
So, like, I have 1,000 questions about this thing.
Everyone does.
Like, he's like halfway around town. How did they hear it?
Because you think by that point, it would just be so faint. Maybe bats have that good of a... That's not how it works, though, right?
Or maybe there's a device in the cave or something.
Maybe he's got radio towers that, like...
Maybe. I don't know. It's whatever. So the bats show up and allows them to escape from the cops. It's like they're chasing them down, and the bats cover them, and they drive to the point where they drive off of a pier, and hey, Batman got away.
Yeah. So yeah, he does that, and then everyone's getting their tetanus shot after that. Because the monologue.
Yeah, they all get vaccine shots.
So get your vaccine, guys. Cut that out, Mark.
So they all need to get they all had to get bat vaccines, I guess. I don't know. I would just think it would be simple rabies shots, but
I mean, either way, well, aren't rabies shots like rare to hard to get?
I don't think they're rare to get. I think they're really painful.
Well, I know they're really painful. I know that, but maybe because rabies is such a rare thing they get. I guess. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's rare that someone needs to get a rabies shot, but I don't think it's like hard to get.
Yeah, I thought the vaccine. No, it is. The vaccine's very hard to get just because you have to have the thing that bit you. You have to have the body or something there with the delay so they can counteract that. Does that make sense? Like, I think the vaccine's within that body that did it to you. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think that's how they get the.
Well, that's my whole point. Like, they say vaccine as if a vaccine's supposed to prevent.
Oh, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Be a rabies shot
that's why
because
rabies shot is to dispel the rabies.
Yeah, but if this was rabies, they would have to have at least 1 or 2 dead bats from what just happened.
Did you see the cloud of bullets they were shooting?
Okay.
You don't think it hit?
Okay, fair.
I mean, it's not like there was 2 bats. There was hundreds.
Okay, fair point.
Anyway, moving on. The June 9th.
Batman movie. It's gonna be. Is it The Dark Knight Rises?
Well, there's a Justice League movie.
Okay.
Yes, there is a Justice League movie beforehand, but the next Batman movie is Dark Knight Rises.
That's another 3-hour podcast right there.
Well, that's a 3-hour movie.
Oh man. So,
anyway,
back to the.
But that's like 4 weeks away, so it's about a month away. The next June 9th, Gordon is on his way home from the doctor's with his wife, and he gets a call that says, "Hey, Bruce Wayne's available for an interview."
Did you skip something?
No, what did I skip?
At the diner. Okay, diner, and then horse. Did you skip some stuff? Didn't you?
Oh, I did. No, I don't think so.
So you're going towards
Wayne Manor. Jim's meeting Bruce.
Like you skipped over a lot, right? What's the last thing you just said?
They got the vaccines.
A lot happens between that. So Jim takes the blonde-haired detective to the diner, and they reference that painting, Nighthawks by Edward. And so they're having a conversation at that diner. Don't remember what it was about because I wasn't paying attention. And then after that a diner conversation, he kisses. He cheats on his wife a little bit here.
Hold on.
And then we see some.
Okay.
Selena does her thing a little bit.
I wrote Bruce's alibi, so I just assumed it was
we got like
that scene. Okay, no, you're right. So yeah, you're right. So yeah, they're back at the office, and Gordon is saying that Bruce has an alibi. She's talking to Essen in the room, and he has an alibi that he's skiing. I don't know, he's somewhere in Aspen maybe, and he broke both legs in his arm. They don't explain it in this movie, but in the comic they do say that he even talked to Bruce Wayne on the phone, and Bruce explains later they got someone to impersonate him,
which I would hope they would too.
So. But so he's got an alibi essentially, and then they go.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I'm okay. I see. Then they're at the diner. There's
you see the diner's name?
No, I missed
Poppers, after the artist who made that painting. That's funny.
Oh well, I don't know art. I'm sorry.
I know the painting. I didn't know what it was called, so I had to Google it while watching it to sound smart. Yeah, so the painting is called Nighthawks, and was created by Edward Hopper, and the diner in there is called Hopper. That's cute. Sorry.
Yeah, I am not an art aficionado. I know a lot of things. Art's not one of them. I love art. They're just pictures.
Stop it. You can say the same thing about comic books, man. Stop it.
Yeah, but nope. They got like words and stuff. And it's sequential art. There's several pictures
each
following.
Painting has 1,000 words to it, TJ.
And what do they say?
Whatever you want it to say. It's your own.
Exactly. It's inconsequential. It's all opinions.
Imagination. I'm sorry.
Like the Mona Lisa, that's just a picture of a woman.
But she's objectively pretty to whoever likes that kind of standard. Anyways.
Okay, and?
Listen, TJ, art's art, okay? You know my opinion on art. Anywho.
Yeah, I'm not gonna knock anyone for art. I don't have a problem with the art or the artist. I have a problem for the people who think they're not better, that they know what they're talking about when they're talking about art.
Who think they're better
because they don't, because it's just opinions.
Yes. They're reading too far into the subtext or between the lines. That there's nothing to read into. It's just a painting or some good strokes. Yeah,
right. I can recognize when an artist does a really good painting. It's really good.
TJ,
But it's just a painting.
You see the painting, you gotta see the brushstrokes and the highlights and the shadowing. And you gotta get into the mind of who made it. I know the backstory of the person who made it and what time period of life they were at when they made that painting, TJ.
Why?
So you can help understand why the painting the way it is and why you like it.
Well, why do I need to understand the painting? It's a painting of a woman.
And why you like it.
I like it because it looks nice. Yes, I don't need more than that.
Yes. And it looks nice because whoever made it was going through stuff at the time to help make them, things. It's like, it's the same thing as wine. This wine tastes good. Yeah, it's bad wine. You know what you're talking about. No, it's good wine. Shut up. I like what I like. That's what comes down to.
It's just opinions.
Yep, it's art.
Like I said, there's a difference between an artist and his work and then the people who admire it. So I'm getting
at. You're not wrong. I'm just busting your balls.
Anyway.
I guess that's like a form of gatekeeping, I guess, huh?
Kind of. It's a little bit, you don't know what you're talking about. You're so unsophisticated.
No, I hate the thing I liked.
Well, no, I just hate you.
I don't want to like this thing anymore, just to spite you.
Well, I would never not like something because someone else told me that I was wrong about liking it.
Now I just hate that person way more than I should.
Yes, it's just that person.
I wish you stopped breathing now. So, anyways, Gordon's a cheater.
Well, not yet. He's starting to cheat. They're just having a little date in the diner.
That's enough, TJ. That's enough to make someone cheat. If you're I can't do that. Sour. This podcast is too long for me to go do that bit.
All right, and so they have their little diner, and then we cut over to June 17th, where Selena quits being a prostitute. That's that scene.
Yeah,
and then
she punches the pimp in the face and see ya.
Yeah, I mean, if you could just do that from the start, it shows that you chose.
I'm just looking at I see her jump out the window in the cat suit, and the child's like, "Yeah, you go, girl." And I'm thinking, in the real world, if I saw one of my friends, granted, she's a child, so she doesn't know better.
She didn't say that.
I know, I'm just making that part up. But
she's like, Selena, what the hell are you doing? That's what she said.
Okay, because my volume's down, so I have no idea what she's saying. There's no way you see your friend do that. This is health. She's mentally healthy.
She criticizes her the entire time. She's like, you spent the rest of our money on that?
Thank God. Because I just know I could support my friend. No matter how successful they were at that, you should really see therapy. Why do you gotta dress up as a creature to do things?
Anyway, Selena quits being a prostitute, and then...
Okay, it's still better being than... Oh, I don't want to say that.
Anyway, and then we go to coffee date number 2, and they get caught out in the rain, and then they kiss. Then we cut over to August 7th, and Catwoman... I guess that's what the scene we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wrote Catwoman affair, so I'm like, wait, what's happening here? So the Catwoman, and I guess the affair is continuing on. Yes. Okay. September 2nd.
No, I didn't know. Is this canonical with him having his affair? Is that throughout every story arc of Jim Gordon?
It's canons, and if you think, you know what I'm saying. Gotcha. Sarah Essen doesn't even exist as far as I know in the current continuity, gotcha. But I think the year 1 stuff was canon for a little while, but I don't know.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure year 1 was Batman issues, actual Batman issues. If you know what I'm saying,
not
in the main continuity. Yeah. So I'm assuming it was for a little while, but nowadays, Batman Year 1 is canon to Dark Knight Rises. Not Rises, Dark Knight Returns. Okay. Frank Miller's other book. So that all happens. And then September 2nd, they break up, Gordon and Essen. And Essen... kind of. She's like, she asked him if Barbara wasn't pregnant, would she? And she says, that's not fair. And she'll request a transfer. And she goes to New York.
And they're married, right? Him and his wife?
Jim and Barbara, yes.
So he can't be dating. There's a word for that.
No, this is an affair.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's he can't, that's...
Like I've been saying for the last 5 minutes, affair.
No, but you were saying they were dating. They're not dating. That's not the word.
You can date.
No.
It doesn't make it any less than an affair.
There's just there's a good thing. I think I associate dating with good and affair. That's.
Have you? You've never been on a bad date?
But I'm not on a bad date when I'm still married because I'm not dating at that point. I'm just cheating. I think.
No, cheating is sleeping with another person.
This is TJ
sleeping and physical contact and stuff.
Yeah.
But dating is going out with another romantically on another person.
I have to disagree. I don't want to get an argument about. I just disagree with that because I just think he was kissing the blonde girl. I forget her name. So so it's still physical contact.
She was kissing her. She kissed her on the second time they were out, but the first one was just a straight up coffee date kind of thing.
It's an affair. So I think to me, I would never call that a date. I guess it's a date, but I would call it.
It's a date from a purely definitional standard. That's a date.
I would say it's an affair, like you were saying. And then the physical contact becomes cheating. I would not call any of that date, because I think dating's like you gotta be single to date, right? Or you're dating around, but once you're married and have a kid, you can't date. You're cheating. That's just cheating.
Why can't? Because what's called it's just mentally, like married people. Mentally, like I'm think I hold dating. Why married people call it date night?
I guess. Because you're dating your loved one, not dating behind someone's. But you're dating behind someone's back. That's cheating. That's the word for that. It's cheating. You're cheating on them or having an affair on them. You're not dating around while you're married or someone.
To date someone means to make a usually romantic social arrangement to meet with them.
Google that, TJ. Did you Google the definition?
Yeah, I did.
Me personally, wouldn't be comfortable calling. I'm not going to cheat on anyone.
But that's what it is. It's a date.
Technically, yes. But me, mentally...
Just from a purely definitional standard.
I don't like that. I feel that makes it feel icky. I don't like that.
An affair is a sexual relationship between two people, one or both of them, or whom are married.
That's why I would say this isn't a date, because one of the people in the situation is married, so he's having an affair.
You can go on dates.
No, you can't have a wife or a significant other you've been with for a long period of time and then go on a date behind their back. You can't call that a.
You can. No, that's a date.
You can't call that a date. You're having an affair.
And I just told you what the definition was.
I wouldn't call that a date. I would call that an affair. Like I
told you an affair is a sexual thing. The definition of affair is a sexual interaction.
Behind your back. Oh, you cheated on me. No. I dated behind your. You cheated on me. You son of a bitch. You had an affair.
That's just because someone interprets it. But on a purely definitional standard, that is a date.
I think date's more of an innocent word. And what he's doing is not innocent.
No, the first time it was just a pure coffee thing. They did nothing the first time.
I still would not be comfortable calling it a coffee date. If I was in this situation, married to someone, having a child on the way, and someone I know I'm working with wants to go get a coffee, yes, go get coffee. I'm not calling it a coffee date. I feel that's kind of implying something.
That's fine, but he didn't tell his wife in any instance. Doesn't make it any less of a date. I don't like the date is, two people getting together and it pretty much in a social, maybe romantic entanglement.
A date is 9 times out of 10. It's associated with romance, DJ.
Okay, there's a romance here. Just because it's not with the other woman and it's affair doesn't mean it's not romantic.
I think dates are usually in like a positive connotation. This is negative, so that's why I'm going with affair or cheating.
It's a negative connotation from Barbara's point of view.
And his point, he feels guilt. He sits on the side of a bed with a gun like, I should kill myself. Like, whoa.
She doesn't see it that way, though.
She's the third party. Of course she's not going to see it that way.
But that's my whole point. So from her perspective, it's a date.
Flawed. But from everyone else looking at it's not flawed, but from everyone else looking at it, that should be an affair.
It isn't. Why can't it be both?
Okay, I can compromise with that. Why are we doing this?
Why can't I don't know. I don't know why you were arguing this, because it doesn't make any sense. You can go on dates with someone you're having an affair with.
That sentence I agree with. Because you put both words into it. You just can't say
I've been saying that, though. I've been saying that.
You didn't.
Not in the same sentence, but I was applying it.
No, because you were saying it's a date, and then just a date. Like, no. He's cheating on his wife.
No. When you go back and listen to this, when you're editing it, you will understand exactly what I was saying from the start.
Because you were arguing the thing they're doing is technically a date. And I agree with that. But I just cannot call it a date, because I was saying there's negative connotations, like I was saying, making it...
But that doesn't make it any less of a date, is my whole point.
From his perspective, yes, because it's not a date. It's cheating. He can call it a date all he wants, but that's cheating. He's cheating / having an affair.
His opinion on it makes no bearing. The fact that they're doing it is they're on a date. That's what the factual thing they are doing is.
He's having an affair.
True. Yes. Two facts can happen at the same time.
I can agree with that. But date is an affair, an affair date.
Okay,
I think
I'm just trying to tell you.
The same sense for me to make me mentally happy.
The confusion was you're trying to conflate them as one thing, whereas I was separating the two things out as two separate things.
Yeah. I just need both in the same sentence. So you're right.
Oh,
you're right. Because I can't call that a date. Because I just can't be happy with that being a date. It's a date, yes, but dates is such a positive term for the most part. For the most part. And let's just say like date rape or had a bad date. Then yeah, those are terrible dates. But like
it depends on the context.
Yeah. I'm not like I'm dating this guy who's married. Oh, people say that, I guess, huh?
Yes.
Because the person who's like,
I've known girls that have said that.
People who are in that conversation, the other person saying, "Oh, he's having an affair." Then like, no, I'm dating him. Like, no, that's not good.
To them, they are dating.
That's
because they are
bad, right?
I'm not saying morally it's correct. I'm just saying that it's what it is.
How?
And it depends.
Hey, listeners,
really,
if you were in a situation you thought you were dating someone, knowing they were in a relationship, write it in and tell me your viewpoints on why it's called a date and not an affair I guess to make themselves feel good about themselves and not like a monster. I'm not saying it's monstrous.
No, because that's what they're doing. They're on dates.
No.
They are dating. That's what they are doing. That's what you call it.
Situation like, yeah, I'm talking to someone and they're cheating on someone for me. I would say that. I'm not going to be like, yo, I'm dating someone who's married. Like, that's f***ed up.
Marcus, you are looking at this from a way too technical level. People do not think on that level. They don't, just because they're dating someone, doesn't matter if they're married or not. They're still dating that person.
I guess they're saying that to help them sleep at night, but there's no way I would feel comfortable. I guess it's me. Obviously, it's me.
You're putting too much prominence on the word date.
I am, because the significant other should not be dating someone outside of, unless they're like in an open relationship. If it was like a Jim and Barbara in an open relationship, sure, yeah, he's dating around. Sure, I'd be cool with that then. But
that's my whole thing. You're conflating the two things. Dating is not the same as cheating. They're two separate acts.
No.
The act of dating is going out with the person and doing things. Yes.
If you are in a relationship with someone and you say, I'm gonna go out with someone else in a date, to that person you're doing that behind their back, that's cheating.
No, that's lying.
That's damn near cheating, TJ. That's enough of a thing to have come, TJ. That's such a big lie / thing to be cheating.
But that's fine, but does not make it any less of a date.
Because you're doing a secret date like that, that's cheating.
It's still a date.
Technically, yeah, but like not really.
That's all
like that date's gonna ruin your current relationship.
I've used the word affair like 6 times when explaining what Jim Gordon's doing.
I was fine with that. But the second you said date,
but he was also dating her.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. This is your
I know.
Anyway, on their breakup date.
I hope that viewers like this podcast. That's what I'm going to say. This episode.
So yeah, moving on to September 12th. The cops brought in this drug dealer to interrogate him, and his lawyers gets him out of it and takes him home. And then Batman comes and he interrogates him Batman way. So next day, September 13th, the drug dealer comes in and says, "Yeah, I'm going to give you Flask because Batman terrified me." Then September 14th,
do you think you'd be afraid of Batman?
I don't know, because you know what? They always say Batman does these interrogation techniques and everybody's afraid, but they don't actually ever show him doing it.
I mean, they can beat you up, but okay.
It's like, I would actually, I don't think I've ever seen them actually show me him and other than him hanging someone off of a roof or something like that. But when they
at that point, Batman's not gonna kill you. It's okay, Batman, scary. You're gonna hurt me, but no, if he was waterboarding people, sure, I'm gonna tell you whatever you want me to tell you.
But that's my whole thing. Batman doesn't kill people, but he knows how to torture people.
So how far is that man willing to go to get information? See, but at the same time, it's torture, right? So how reliable is that information you got from someone who you tortured?
Well, he's not trying to get information here. He's trying to get him to flip.
I'm saying in general, though. I'm not just saying this, but just in general. How far is Batman willing to go, knowing information you get from torture isn't 100% valid?
There's also a difference between torture that we know of and constantly just causing pain, and then torture, but also making someone terrified of you, monstrous. This monster is gonna haunt me, and as I do this, you know what I mean?
Kind of shit,
fear is more effective than torture, I would think. If you get someone to be terrified of what you're going to do, that's more effective than just constantly. And I think that's what they're trying to portray with Batman.
Let's go to Batman. Let's say Marcus May knows Joker has the kids in the basement, and Batman, I'm the lead for Batman. He wants to save the shit out of those kids. Is he gonna break every bone in my body to get the information out? Or what is he gonna do for me to get it out of me? Besides, he's not gonna kill me.
Well, no, but he also usually knows everything about these guys, so he'd probably know.
Like, let's say I'm just random henchman who happens to know. I'm the first day.
Yeah, but he also maybe it's the first they hire, but he would know all the henchmen because he doesn't seem to know everyone's names and stuff in the comics and everything.
Okay, so he knows what I care about then.
Yeah, he would know your criminal record and stuff. Because it's been applied a few times that he has a what's the thing where you don't forget anything?
Oh shit, the memory.
Yeah, he's got like perfect memory, so he remembers everything. It's been applied. Photographic memory. It's been applied a few times that he has a photographic memory, so he just remembers everything.
Oh, makes sense.
So it wouldn't be beyond reason that he would look at your file and know exactly what you're afraid of.
But again, like years into his career, we all know he does not kill. But I work for the Joker, who's a crazy motherfucker. I would never break on the Joker. So like, that's how would you really be afraid of Batman at that point?
If you're afraid of snakes like I am, and you're threatening to lock you in a pit of snakes for the next 3 days, you know,
that's bad though on his part, right? Like,
I mean, Have you met monsters? Batman?
Like, holy shit! Like, come on, Batman, give the guy a break.
I mean, that's what he would
Earlier
do.
We did establish he did hang a mental patient.
Yes, he will do what he has to.
I'm not afraid of snakes. I put myself in your shoes. Like, I'd be terrified. So I guess.
I'm just saying, like, you know someone's fears and you press on them.
But yeah, like you said earlier, we don't see him doing the thing all the way, so I guess he must do that shit.
So it's left up to our imagination.
I never thought about it. That's fascinating, I guess. Okay.
I mean, granted, that's just my best summation. It could just be laziness, and then just like we can't think of anything.
Because like the shit I've seen so far, I don't think I'd be afraid of him. Besides that, like don't hurt me, but knowing as much about Batman as we do, would you really put it past them to lock you somewhere with something you're terrified of forever? I wouldn't put it past them. But that goes to my argument of like I really discredit everything he does then, because I think that's worse than killing someone, because now you just really
but I think so that's the whole thing. I don't think he actually does it. He relies a lot on his mythology and stuff like that. So it's just the threat of the things he's saying that you believe he's going to do it that makes you
just
talk,
betting on people not calling his bluff.
Right. He's just betting on the mythology and the terror that he's already caused.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's at least how I build it up.
Fair, I guess.
Anyway, September 14th, Detective Flash is indicted. I feel like I'm just reading like
headlines.
Like a case note or something. Because I only got bullet points down, but like because I have each date down, it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
That's great.
Anyway, on September 14th, Flash is indicted and the commission threatened. Oh, okay. Yeah, Flash is indicted, and then the commissioner threatens Gordon to set in line or he's going to tell his wife about the affair. September 25th, this is when Gordon meets with Bruce Wayne. And this is the only time we see in this movie Bruce Wayne playing out the playboy aspect of him. And he's like got drinking in the middle of the day. He's got some woman who doesn't speak any language he knows, so he doesn't know her name. And they're like, okay, I guess you're not Batman after all. And then Gordon leaves, and he tells his wife about the affair because she says Bruce Wayne's a pig. And he's like, I'm guilty.
Like, shit.
So I have to tell you. Plus, if I tell you, they can't hold that over my head anymore.
I respect that. So like, that's how you should do it. Own your shit.
And so he tells her that, and then that woman says, hey, you gonna pay me now?
I like that Batman or Wayne's just watching all that unfold for 10 minutes, he says.
Yeah, he's watching them because Gordon was talking to his wife outside. He's probably thinking, oh man, he's on to me for some reason here. And meanwhile, Gordon's like, yeah, I was sleeping with this other woman.
It's nice.
All right. On to October 2nd. Flash threatens to kill the drug dealer, whose name's Skeevers, by the way, to show you how creative the names are. And he threatens, like, Gordon's like, you're going to tell us everything, or Skeevers is going to testify. His Flash is like, if he survives, and the lawyer's like, he didn't say that. And then on October 5th, I don't know what I wrote there.
Hospital?
October 5th, don't call a pain?
Well, I know his wife, Gordon's wife, is on the phone.
Oh, don't call again. Right, because they try to call her and say, hey, you know about Detective Ray? He's like, yeah, I know, don't call here again. So that plot line's done. Over to October 7th. Hey, the drug dealer was poisoned with rat poison, but we're going to pump his stomach, so he's fine. And October 10th, we learned that
you think a lot of that could have been just glossed over, right? I guess they got to tie up those storylines.
They did gloss over. That scene was like 3 seconds.
Like, they really have to include it. Like, they could just said in like
dialogue. Yeah, but if you didn't show it, you'd be like, why are you just telling us?
True, but it's like, did they really need to show us? Like, how important was this character in the story? Could have just gotten rid of that story arc in general?
Well, see, the whole point of it is because October 10th, it says, hey, drug dealer does not care that he was just poisoned and they're trying to kill him. He's still willing to testify because he's so scared of Batman. Yeah. So it is important.
Okay. Because like you said, some of these scenes are so short.
October 12th, I just wrote boy, so I'm assuming they find out it's a boy at this point.
Probably. Yeah.
And then Selena stole Commissioner Loeb's
dolls.
Pop culture collection that like you see like Huckleberry Hound and stuff.
Albert Fudd gets thrown at the TV.
Yeah.
The doll he has, the main one, that's one of the puppets that the bad guys use, right?
Oh, was it? I didn't catch that.
Like, isn't there a puppet villain in Batman?
Scarface.
Yeah, I think that's him, isn't it? Or no?
I don't know. I don't actually not on that scene. Scarface, the ventriloquist's doll. I don't think so, because he looks more like a mafia doll kind of thing.
Maybe it was the one from Goosebumps, then.
Maybe. The Goosebumps terrifying puppet one?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It doesn't matter. We're 3 hours in.
I don't think it was, though.
No, it's not. You're right. It's not.
Let's see. Yeah, November 2nd. Falcone has brought his nephew in to take care of some of the problems that he's been having. And the nephew's like, just tell me who you want me to take out and we'll deal with it. Catwoman shows up because she's been a little agitated that she was being called Batman's assistant and stuff like that. So she shows up to steal Falcone's stuff and to scratch him in the face to show him that she doesn't work with Batman. Right. Meanwhile,
no, it's like ego. That makes sense. That's why people dress up like that. Ego. Okay.
Yeah. And then Batman's has Falcone wired and he was listening to it, but then Catwoman shows up and ruins that and he's like, thanks. And then we cut over to after the attack the next day, November 3rd. Really? That's it? Okay.
Yeah.
No, November 3rd. They call Gordon in the middle of the night, say you need to get down to the office, and then Falcone's nephew comes and tries to kidnap his wife and son. Bruce shows up as Bruce because it's daytime. He doesn't get dressed as Batman during night, apparently. Only during the night.
Thing. I've seen Birkin so many times.
Yeah. And so he goes out, drives on a motorcycle into Gordon's garage. Gordon turns around, realizing, oh crap, this is something wrong. He goes in there, sees that his wife and son are being kidnapped, and he says, if I let them take them, they're gonna die. So he starts shooting them with his right in front of his wife. They're like, this guy's crazy. And they get out of there, and then Gordon shoots Bruce off of the bike, steals his bike, and he chases them down. Bruce chases after them on foot. Gordon chases them to a bridge where he's fighting the Falcone's nephew, with Gordon's son in his arms.
His nephew's holding Gordon's son. It's like, holy shit.
Yes. And they're having a fist fight, him and Gordon, on a bridge. And then all three of them fall over the top, and he shows them all falling. And then you see Bruce diving down and catching the baby.
I'm like, where'd this guy come from? I'm just laughing.
And then Barbara shows up and looks down and says, oh, everyone's all right. And Gordon's looking at Bruce without his mask on. He says, without my glasses, I can't see anything. And they have shown it throughout the entire movie, him not being able to see anything without his glasses. And he says, you should get out of here as the police are going. And Bruce goes away. And then we get a little bit of an epilogue here of, Flash wasn't as stupid as he thought. He kept notes on everything that he did.
That's what I would do if I was a criminal.
And so
have everyone's names and intentions written down with evidence. Do not make me a criminal friend.
So he covered his ass, and so the commissioner's being indicted, and Gordon gets promoted to captain.
I'm such a snitch. There's no way I'm going to prison for 25 years.
And then on December 3rd, he's up on a rooftop, and he says he's got a new friend coming to help him along with this new case that just shows up. And with this guy poison the reservoir, a man called the Joker. Well, this is where it started. This is where every Batman story, like Batman Begins, at the end. This is I stole it right from here.
It's like it's always the Joker.
And then it ends.
Comic book panel credits, which I kind of like.
Yes, and that was Batman Year One.
Man, we had a lot to say about that one, didn't we, TJ?
You did, anyway.
So, what'd you think?
Like I said, I had my problems with it, but it wasn't substantial. No. Like, I think there was issues adapting it in certain aspects of it, but the core of the story is good within itself. Yeah. So, and they literally just, like I said, panel for panel, kind of took it right from the comic. So when you do that, it's kind of hard to mess up a good story.
Yeah. As long as you don't change anything too drastically.
And they didn't, so I thought it was good.
I can agree with that. It may seem like I was shitting on the movie, but it was a solid movie.
Sorry, I'm just looking at it. It looks like Year One was part of Batman continuity. Oh, okay. Like I see, I'm looking at the covers in the back of the book.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
Looks like it ran from Batman 434, I think it says, to 437. Yeah, so I think that's what that says. Really small. But yeah. Anyway, what did you think?
Like I said throughout the review, I think it's very enjoyable. I would recommend this being your first thing to watch if you're into Batman some magical way, if you haven't seen anything else beforehand. But that being said, I think now I've seen it after watching all this other shit. It's okay. It's not bad, nor is it good. So if I had to give it numbers, like as like just seeing shit before this and seeing this now like this, I would give this a 5. But if this was the first thing I saw, probably a 7. Maybe.
I think I'm in.
But like as of right now, I'm gonna give this a 6, somewhere in the middle, like a 6 right now. I give it a 6 out of 10. It's a solid movie.
Yeah, I think that's where I was at a 6. Yeah, I think it's a solid movie. Like it's got its problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's good enough where I can recommend it and not feel bad recommending this. And the fact that it's an hour, someone can easily take their time. Like, okay, it's an hour.
Yeah. It's there's not a lot going on though in this as far as overall things. So like I think like something like The Long Halloween will be if they did the same thing for that, I think that would be much better.
Yes. Like if it wasn't for all my random rants and tangents in this spot, I think this review could have easily been 50 minutes long.
Yeah. Well.
But like, then again, I got really out of hand on this one. So so I'm just saying, like, there wasn't much to this to make it a bad movie, but there wasn't.
Right. I mean, it was only an hour long.
But that also like didn't make enough of it to make it like a 7 or 8. It's like a 6. It's a solid film. But yeah, I am tired, TJ.
I mean, you did this to yourself.
No.